like Rallycross, if you like the sideways action and all the madness, RallyX TV on YouTube is the place to watch it. So like, subscribe, and you know where to find us.
What a brilliant season it has been. RallyX Nordic 2021 comes to a close in the next, about 3 hours, I guess. We've run slightly late with the Swedish Rallycross Championship. A few incidents. We're expecting maybe one or two as it's the end of the year. People start taking, maybe having a bit too much fun, maybe taking a bit too much risk. But we're going to start with our semi-finals for CrossCar Junior. This is how they qualified. It was Nielsen, Persson, Gustafsson and Andersson who are fighting for the championship. Gustafsson is the current champion, remember. And then it's Lundelander, Lidman, Ylälami, Hallonen, Holmqvist and Oskarsson. My name's Andrew Coley. Joining me on commentary, as he has all year, in his excellent style, is Hal Ridge, the legend. Dark clouds outside. Hal just posted on his story. If we get a bit more rain, that could liven it up again, couldn't it? Nielsen and Gustafsson on the front row. Crucial for Gustafsson to get a safe start at least. It's tight enough on the points. And he's got an absolutely terrible start. He's left on the grid. That is a disaster. The reigning CrossCar Junior champion, Alex Gustafsson, left on the grid. Was it not in gear? Was there a problem with it? Either way, he is way back in P5, and that is a disaster. He'll hope to make up a position here immediately in the next braking zone. He's going to try them around the outside, look up the inside here. I think he'll get an overlap here. He's significantly quicker than some of the other drivers. Come on, we need to see where Gustafsson is. Give us that back left corner. Where is he? There he is, there he is. So Gustafsson makes up one position, Hal, but that is a disastrous start. Top three go through, bit of work to do, and of course every point counts.
Brilliant composure into the paddock bend there to go wide on the entry, knowing that it's not possible just to fire way up the inside. Wait for the car in front to run wide. Holmqvist it was, Josephine that ran a little bit wide on the exit. Gustafsson sent it back up the inside. Of course, he's not going to be able to joker immediately, I don't think, because he can't, because Holmqvist, he would drop back into her. She's now jokered, so the next lap he, in theory, could, depending what the cars do ahead of him. Disaster off the start, but a couple of times last year, and in the final round, we saw Alex Gustafsson absolutely fight back, didn't we? Pull off some brilliant overtaking moves, and you can do that in these junior cross cars because they're so small physically on the track, where it's difficult to overtake in a car. You can do it in a cross car.
The track is wider when the car is smaller, isn't it? Yeah, what you were saying this morning, Hal, you'd like to see all rallycross tracks a little bit wider to give more option lines, and when we've seen that width at places like Spa with the banked corner, and even Nitro with the banked corner, I actually think that's a great feature of any rallycross track. We'll put that in our track. You get the option lines. We see it at the Velodrome at Hollier, so where's going to go now? So standard lap, and that's good for Gustafsson.
You talk about option lines, that would have been an option call for the joker from Alex's spotter to not do what Nielsen did. Don't follow Eric Nielsen in, because then you do have to get the overtake done on track, don't you?
At least it is 5 laps as well. Remember the semi-finals, meaning there is an extra lap on there to try and get the overlap in terms of joker strategy, or just chase down the cars in front of you. You can see how fast Gustafsson is. Reigning champion last year, 2 wins, 1 in Hollius, 1 in Arvika, P2 in Neeson to tie up the title by just 3 points from Eric Andersson. Lucas Andersson, who he's fighting with, and he's leading
what a move, sorry Andrew, what a move up the inside of Ylälanda. That is exactly what he needs to do if he wants to win this championship.
Brilliant job, nicely done. Looking down at my championship standings, and I mean, Hal, he was P5 off the grid, he's up in P2. How much of a gap do you think he needs behind to hold on to a position? What do we think the delta is? A couple of seconds probably?
Yeah, 2.5, 3, something like that. Again, it depends how loose the joker is. I think that the clean line on the inside is actually going to be quite quick, so I reckon 2.5. Gustafsson's right on the back of Ylälami now. Let's look at the timing screen. How far back? So Eric Nielsen's about 2.2 behind Gustafsson at the moment. So if Gustafsson can keep the hammer down, remember, top 3 go through, and he's pulled a move for the lead up the inside of Ylälami into Per Eklund corner.
Same place, absolutely brilliant. He's killing it. Now I suppose the problem is with 2 laps to go. Ideally, he'd like, well, no, but neither's jokered, so that's an amazing move.
And now Gustafsson has jokered, hasn't he? This is to cover off Eric Nielsen. They'll know the gap's okay. He'll carry the momentum out of the joker lap. Little lift, come back up the inside. Beautifully executed.
I'll tell you what, we need him to... When can he move up to senior cross car? Because the racecraft's there. How old is he?
He's 14 at the start of this year. So
what does he have to be? Is it 16 for cross car? I can't remember. or in your 16th year, it's the old thing of when your birthday is.
Yeah, I think, it's a grey area. It depends whether he goes to Latvia and gets a licence like Oliver Solberg did.
Yeah, well, that's what we like. Good old Latvia. Yes to Latvia. And your mega rules for licences. So Yulilami out front hasn't Joker. Gustafsson has. Gustafsson puts the move on Yulilami, then immediately goes Joker. He's now closing the gap back down to Yulilami.
You must be so pumped in the car by doing all that, mustn't you?
But how, do you know what? I'm so glad he had the issue on the grid, because this has been a wondrous piece of driving. Yulilami's not going to be close enough. Gustafsson was last off the line and has won semi-final one. And that is what you do when you're the reigning CrossCar Junior champion. Look at that, the guys from JC up at the back, fist pumping and grinning at each other. That is a killer drive. And you know what as well? That is a bit of a killer blow towards Lucas Anderson, because if you're Lucas Anderson now, you're looking at that and going, you are kidding me. From the back of the grid, he's won. He was thinking there on Nick Fight. Look at this, Hal. He's nowhere. I reckon it's not in gear.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he stalled. The car didn't lurch.
Didn't move, did it? I reckon it's just one of those awful ones. Chris Meek did it. Do you remember at Lowiak?
Yeah.
It's horrible. You go ba-ba-ba, drop the clutch, nothing else. What? No. Then you go ba-bunk, pull it in gear and away. But he picked them off. Okay, yes, lucky when some people joker to get out of the way. But those two moves down the hill, we haven't really seen anyone pull that off all weekend. But now we have.
Yeah, and I think that's just because these cars are that little bit narrow, isn't it? You can.
I just think it's always the juniors. Remember the move we saw earlier in the top threes? Wasn't that a junior as well on the inside? I can't remember.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Here it is. That's the first one. Thanks very much. Tiniest tap.
And terribly compromised. You and the lander there running wide into that loose gravel we were chatting to Kevin Eriksson about earlier.
So I've just been to see Enzo Eid, and he goes, yeah, he said, I tried a move. I said, yeah, we saw Enzo. He goes, I was so good, the second jump and the right-hander. He said, I was like, I'm going to pass him. He said, and now my team boss is really angry with me. So I assume that means Yol.
There he is.
Yeah, exactly. So Yol, look at Yol. Like, I love how
Yol will be more frustrated that Alex had to do the drive to recover
now
it.
He's happy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, him crossed that there was the stage. Like, how did you do it? Why did you won? But this is appalling. But it's not in the same way as maybe you'd get told off if you were in Andreas Eriksson's team. Win for Gustafsson. Right, I'm making notes here. So what's that? How 6 points for Gustafsson?
Yeah.
He went from 125 in qualifying. Gustafsson then qualified third, so he got 14, puts him on 139, plus 6, puts him on 145 points. Now, Lucas Anderson, who qualified in fourth, let me see, Lucas Anderson fourth, got 13 points, so was on 143. So 130 plus his 13 from qualifying is 143 for Lucas Anderson. So at the minute, obviously Lucas hasn't done his semi-final yet, but coming into this, basically the gap was 5 points and it had gone down to 4 points because Alex had out-qualified Lucas. Now it's Lucas's turn on the outside of the front row. Has he got it in gear? Yes, he has. Great start. Lucas Anderson slams the door in the face on the inside line. Lowry Hallinan comes from around the outside. Saw Lowry just before the break. Wasn't very happy with his driving. He's only a kid, you know, he's so shy, isn't he? And I'm like, what's up, dude? You all right? He's like, yeah, just not really, I'm not happy. I did the jump wrong. No, the crest wasn't. He said he was looking in his mirrors when he span earlier on. His dad was like, he's too busy looking in his mirrors too much. But great start by Hallinan, but importantly for Lucas Anderson, the championship leader, as we say, by 4 points coming into this stage of the competition, has not given himself the job to do that Alex Gustafsson had to do.
Not a brilliant start from Rasmus Persson on the inside of the front row on pole position. Remember, he was in the fight for the championship last year, wasn't he, in the final round in Nissan with Gustafsson and Eric Anderson, who's now moved up to senior crosscar. It's such a mental game, isn't it? I know we've talked about it a lot through this championship, but you know, the pre-grid, we'll see it in a minute when they come around, but the pre-grid sits below the circuit, and all you'll be able to see sitting in the car is the order of the cars as they flash past you. And then Anderson, right here, where they pass now, the pre-grid comes up there. All you can see is the cars passing in front, right below our current position there. You'll see him in fifth, in fourth, in third, in second, in first, in second, and you're like, if you let that get to you, it could blow your mind watching the person you're competing directly against for the championship do that sort of drive.
Yeah, totally. The other mad thing about being there is the noise, because there's a gap in the arm coast. So if you're stood in the paddock, you get wow, and you don't hear anything in between, do you? I've noticed it, particularly with the lights cars, wow, and it just goes across the gate. So as he's sitting there, I bet he was loving it on the free side. Probably heard on the radio. What's happened? Spin in the jump. Person's gone round. So Anderson, Hallinan out front. What's the gap? Anderson and Hallinan is 1.9 between. Now Lidman has taken the Joker and is 5.3 back from Hallinan. So Hallinan's in pretty plain sailing here. That could be your Scandinavian name, mate. We'll just ditch Rich and just go with Hal or none.
That's fine, yeah. I'm racing in two classes here, aren't I? Because I'm in this and Tommy Howman's initials abbreviated.
What do you think about Howman, Hal? What about Howman and Hal?
Won a Lights Championship now, haven't I? Mega.
Yeah, you race. You're really good. Howman. Hal Hallinan.
It's really clean that Hallinan just takes the Joker. It's really clean on the inside line now, isn't it? I think that'll be significant come the lights and the Supercar later on, because those machines are obviously a lot bigger, a lot wider, and the wheels are a longer wheelbase.
Hallinan has really got his act together now, so it was P8. He did actually have a P2 in Q2 yesterday, but has ended up down in P8 in qualifying, and is now basically going to take second place in this semi-final. But this man, fantastic job. Up and down qualifying for both the championship protagonists. Lucas Anderson ended up in fourth with Gustafsson 1 point ahead. So Gustafsson had closed the gap down by 1 point. Gustafsson stalled, came back, won his semi-final. Anderson is going into the Joker lap and has got another lap to go, and has had a problem in the Joker just for a moment there. We have me going. It's still going to be close enough, Hal, isn't it? Because if he takes 6 points here as well, that gap's going to be 4. And a win is 8, and a P6 is 1 point in the final. So
a win is 8, and then second is 5.
Yes, it says 3 points in the house. Not enough, is it? No, you'll need a car in between.
You could easily finish third, couldn't you?
100%, yeah. It's unlikely. Well, obviously, you could retire, but yeah.
Gustafsson's taken more wins.
Yeah. Later in the season, too, was it? Anderson started with a double win, but then if you look, Anderson had 2 P2s in Finland, and that was really what did the business. I'm trying to see if either of them's missed the final. No, neither of them has missed the final all year long. And looking down, nobody else has managed to do that. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Hallinan, actually. A win then for Anderson sets us up for a championship fight in the final. Hallinan goes through to the final as well. Great, consistent driving from these youngsters. And the Crosscar Junior RallyX Nordic title will be decided in a final in probably about an hour and a half's time. Oh, that's some pressure, isn't it? That is some pressure for both of them, to be fair. I mean, obviously, much easier to go and win. Well, I say easier. You win from the front, you're not having a heart attack. Your parents are not sitting in the grandstand going, oh, good God, what have you done? And then oh, good God, what have you done? This is amazing. It's, the roller coaster of emotions is just up and down.
The chat in the paddock, in the gap we've had between Q4 and the semis, is how important the inside is. A lot of the Supercar guys who've ended up second on the grid for the semis actually a bit disappointed that they didn't do a bit worse in qualifying to end up third, because having the outside is so difficult. So Anderson did a brilliant job to smash the start there and take the lead.
That's what Andreas Eriksson said over at IMC6. He said, oh, we're pleased with 6th. And I was thinking, is this Andreas, sort of bluff and bluster? And actually, no, as you say, it's not. He said, you want to be inside. Well, as Kevin said, you just need to watch out for getting squeezed into that arm cone. We've seen a number of people squeezed in. There we go. That's one of next year's Crosscar Junior competitors getting ready to go. Probably only 10 years off. Amazing. Great competition from Crosscar Junior all year long. Lucas Anderson wins his semi-final to set up a championship showdown with the current champion, Alex Gustafsson. Lucas Anderson last year was 5th, got 2 third places in Neeson, whereas Alex Gustafsson was the champion with 2 wins and 1 P2. Open 2-wheel drive, Simon Tighe already crowned the champion in P2 after the intermediates. It was Emil Oman who was the top qualifier, then Evertson, Frederick Tiger, Simon's dad, Urban Bergström, the station wagon. Linus Westman, Matthias Janssen, Stefan Christensen, Thomas Oman, Joachim Rolving, Mikkel Persson and Michael Janssen all make it to the semi-finals. Crazy Mike missed out. There's Ehrman. Semi-final one. Go on, Hal.
Couldn't be more different, could it? The size of the cars on this grid to the junior cross cars.
Like the junior cross cars, it's like, are all the cars there? I mean, I know there are only 5, but like, now it's like, where's the space on the grid? Oh my God, this is going to be carnage in the first corner. Emil Ehrman versus Joachim Evertsson on the front row. Urban Bergström and Matthias Janssen on row 2. Janssen, remember, is second in the standings with Marcus Norman third. Amazing start from the pole. Emil Ehrman's got that done. Urban Bergström has come up from row 2 and got straight past Joachim Evertsson. Matthias Janssen drops down into P5, and how on earth have we managed to get 4 red cars and 2 white cars into one race? It was the Omen squad, isn't it, basically? Or they're all, or is this a very popular paint job?
A part of the Omen squad. We didn't get any orange cars either, which would have been quite interesting had there been any major contact, but there wasn't. They're big, like I said, on the grid, they're big cars compared to the junior cross cars. So loose, they're dragging all the gravel further down the hill now, aren't they? And it's really a kick at the top of the hill. Of course, these cars don't quite have the suspension technology of the supercars. We'll see later on, but they look brilliant fun around this circuit, and Emil Ehrman really has been the class of the field this weekend.
Totally. I love the fact that, well, yeah, two wins, a P4, just Q2 didn't quite go according to plan. Simon Tiger didn't win. I did win the final session, of course, and Frederick Tiger won the other. So, yeah, the Tiger father and son outfit, managing to take a session each in quali. Urban Bergström, would you say, Hal, that's been the most popular car with our guests? Because I think it has.
Yeah, absolutely. Unquestionably the most popular car, yeah.
I want to go in it, do you?
Oh yeah, I'd have a go in anything, to be honest. I like driving rallycross cars.
What story would you write about the Urban Bergström car? Would it be about the cooling package? I think it would.
For what? Well, just in general?
Yeah, I think there's a story in that.
Yeah, I could drive it and do a track test. I could do that in anything, mate.
I like to see how Rick's got a good little number going here, hasn't he? That's the 208 Pikes Peak car. Should I do a track test on that? Is that in a museum somewhere? I bet it is.
Sebastian Loeb Racing have it now, don't they, I think?
Do they? Oh, I love it. Look at that. The emotion on the face is absolutely brilliant. This is a family game. It really is. It's lovely. They'll all know just how many hours have been spent in the garage, how many times they've gone, we can't go on holiday, we can't afford it, I've spent the money on the deer for. Oh, up the inside, uses all the curb. Was that Oman on Evertsson, I think?
It was, yeah.
Wow. So Oman making a move on Evertsson. So we just said a minute ago, nobody's done it there all day. Crosscar Junior's done it, now Open Two-Wheel Drive's done it. So maybe Enzo Ede was right, the move is on. Just not at 90 degrees to the road.
We're complete. Persson takes a quite interesting line through the exit of the final corner. I'm not questioning anyone's spotting ability or tactics, but to do all that hard work and then joke and put yourself behind again, you've got to have real self-confidence that you can do it all again.
That's brilliant. Go on, get in. I love it. It's genuine, Hal, isn't it? You know, she won't know the camera's on her. She's genuinely like, come on, come on, come on.
Evertsson goes for the move on Bergström, doesn't quite put it off, but I wonder if the track's a lot cleaner now down there because people are trying those moves and it's now more on than it was.
I like the idea of trying to pass Bergström's car. You're looking at it going, this thing's massive. Where do I go? It's just completely blocking me. Went round the outside, over the line. It's only Urban Bergström who hasn't jokered now. So the station wagon is out front with the two Omans in behind, looking for a way through on the loose. You might as well just hold on in there. Oh, no way, come on, that was a bit, oh my God, right in on the door. That was a door ride all the way through the long right-hander. We've never seen a move like it. Now, okay, oh no, she's in tears now. I can't handle this, I'm gonna be in tears myself in the commentary box. It's just too much. It's too much. They put everything they've got into this, these people. It's wonderful. What brilliant sport. You know, Open Two-Wheel Drive's accessible. Oh no. It's awful, isn't it? It's awful. Bless her. Urban Bergström goes into the Joker lap. Going to come out. I wonder if there'll be any kind of investigation. Bergström going to go for P2. But it's Omen. Which Omen is it? Emil Omen for Thomas Omen, Urban Bergstrom, Matthias Janssen. Yes! Oh, with the roller coaster of emotions. It's not even the final. Oh, I love it.
That move from, we'll see it in a minute, won't we? That move from
was it one of the
Evertson wasn't really on, but been really quick. Second fastest earlier on in Q4 this afternoon.
So how?
So sensible around the first corner. I couldn't get over the train.
All in a line. What are you doing? So Hal, come on. Who do we think the nice lady in the grandstand is with? The emotional lady in the grandstand.
It must be an Omen. Evertson's been disqualified from the semi
because of the move.
Yeah, it wasn't really on.
So who did Evertson hit?
You can't get a lift, can you?
Did Evertson hit Omen? Was it Thomas Omen?
Yeah.
So I think the ladies with Thomas Omen.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
she was just livid, wasn't she? Livid and then terribly upset, and then like that's all right to be honest.
It's in this corner. A couple of laps later. I hope we see it in the replay package because
it's the most unbelievable. Yeah.
But look at the circuit here. It's much cleaner on the inside now. I really hope we get.
That's you were saying about.
Yeah, I really hope we get to see some more people trying that for the semi-finals. Of course, it's all.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Do you think there was a little bit of payback maybe for that move? No, not payback, but like, oh, so you're just going to stick it inside me on the curbs. I'll do the same to you.
Yeah, I don't think that was... this is the move now, so just sinks out the inside. The door was left a little bit open, but not that open, and now the door's trying to be opened even more.
I think the window might be open after he's driven up the side of the... Well, that door won't be opened again, and I can tell you that much on the side of the car. It's mullered. Oh, I wanted more replays from the grandstand, to be honest. That was epic, wasn't it? So I think that's got to be... So Joachim Evertson was excluded. Hal, that's for that move, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
So Evertson was excluded for the move on...
You can't park on someone's doorbell, can you?
No. It was impressive. I mean, I'd like to see anybody try to do it again, like from a...
Terry Grant style.
Yeah, exactly. From a technical... what we want you to do in this stunt for this James Bond movie is do that. And they'd be like, right, okay, Simon Tiger. Here we go. Where is he? Frederick Tiger. Son and father. Yesterday, father beat son, didn't he, in one of the qualifying sessions? But I have to say, I think Simon Tiger's BMW, assuming it's not gone sick, it was pretty smoky earlier on today. But if it's feeling healthy, if it's got the grunt, I think he'll outdrag his dad. And I imagine, surely, Hal, well, the thing is, championship's not on the line, so maybe they won't have had any kind of family conversation about what to do in turn one.
Frederick's still trying to beat Emil Omen in the SM points, which we're not completely au fait with because we don't know those right in front of us. But he's still got a job to do for himself, hasn't he? So yeah. I imagine his dad won't try and hamper him too much on that front. But of course,
Okay, the lady in the grandstand was Urban Bergstrom's wife. So that's the estate car. Did Urban go through?
He did, yeah.
Yes. So that's where all the joy came from then, isn't it? I love it.
He's been doing this a long time. If they've been together a while, she's been through a lot.
Good God, she must be so stressed. Wasn't it? Didn't we say he's been one of the longest ever competitors in open two-wheel drive and touring car? Oh, Here she is. This is Urban Bergstrom's wife, and she's my favourite spectator of the year. I'm going to give her a full send medal for the actions in the grandstand. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. That emotion is 100% real. Look. Fantastic. I want to see the angry reaction. When was the angry reaction? There was one, wasn't there, where it was head in hands? Here we go. Semi-final. Say again, race control. Sorry, we just had a message. Thank you to YouTube. So that's great. So somebody on YouTube, thank you guys. Much appreciated. You can appreciate we don't really have time to watch our own stream here, but somebody on YouTube has told us that's Urban Bergstrom's wife. So thank you very much for that, guys. Hope you're enjoying it. Thanks for joining us all year long. I hope you've enjoyed. I know we're a bit irreverent and we go off piste sometimes, but we have a lot of fun and we hope you do too. Simon Tiger with not a great start, and in between the two Tigers comes Linus Westman, and then Frederick Tiger drops back inside. Linus Westman actually gets a nudge from the rear from the Porsche. Simon Tiger does get away first. So Simon Tiger tardy start, Hal. I am wondering about whether or not there's when the car's running, it seems fine, but on the start lines, it is smoking up.
Not known for having brilliant starts, is he, Tiger? We've got to talk about that a lot, but yeah, yet again, didn't get off the line perfectly. It must be so hard putting all that power down. Westman had a great start, but then trying to fit through the middle row actually forces you to be wider than you would maybe want. Instead of cutting to the inside, but of course you can't do that if there's not the room.
Well, this is more like we were expecting to see maybe from open two-wheel drive, or last-minute choice from Frederick Tiger, and actually that's worked out well because behind him, the other two cars were going to go in, Hal, weren't they? And then one changed their mind. It was Christensen, I think. Christensen. I'm wondering if Frederick Tiger could get around the outside of Christensen because he had more exit speed from the Joker, but we've not seen that.
That is working out for him. Meanwhile, a little bit further up the road, Westman's been badly held up by Janssen, isn't he?
I think I might have Joker, but I suppose you'd be worried about the cars behind. He's going to go inside now, surely going to have a look on the bottom of the hill. We've seen moves in there in the last semi-final. Oh, defensive from Janssen. Westman can't find a way through. Christensen is almost onto the back of this pack, so maybe Christensen was being held up by Frederick Tiger and Rolving as well. But there is now an option to Joker, Hal, isn't there? There is the option there now. Does he go? I think he does. No.
I'm surprised he hasn't really. I mean, the gap is... the gap would be tight to get out in front of Christensen. Christensen's being eaten up by Tiger behind, who's run a little bit too sideways in the final corner and lost some ground.
Yeah, definitely wasn't being held up by them, then was he? That was completely wrong by me. I thought when we saw him on the back straight that he got a good margin, but actually, he's now, Christensen is actually in danger of holding up Tiger and Rolving, but that is, the window's open now, that it is definitely open.
It's funny how the window changes though, isn't it? On the first lap you're fighting for the win, and now it's damage limitation to make sure you get into the final.
And that's what's so fascinating about the spotter's job, and I love it when we have the likes of Kevin Eriksson in here and they go, look, no, don't send him in. If they're confident he's got the pace, keep him out. I know you and me, I'm sure, you know what I mean, don't you? We've got, oh my God. If I joker now, I might win, you know, and you just do it. Whereas they're going, don't joker now. You could, so leader Simon Tiger goes in along with Westman. We would probably hang on. Oh, it's going to be tight, and I thought for Westman against Tiger. Gets past though. So actually, Hal, really, if he hadn't gone then anyway, he might not cover up Frederick Tiger from behind.
Yeah, sensible move from them. I was just thinking of when I was incredibly lucky enough to get a deal done to race a supercar at the end of last year. Had David Mansfield spotting for me, and you're so reliant on the confidence of the spotter. Yes, spotting is stressful and it's so skilled, but the drivers are so reliant on the information. And I'm driving around thinking I need to joker because I can see the guy behind in the mirrors, and you know you don't have the advantage of seeing the gaps. They've got no information in the car other than what they can see. You've got to have such confidence in the spotter as a driver, and vice versa, haven't you? I love the tactics of Rallycross with a joker lap.
Yeah, me too. Just epic. Into the joker lap now goes Janssen on the last lap. Sorry, 2 laps to go. Tiger comes around across the line, going to try and get the overlap on Westman, but Westman has got it done. So Janssen drops into P3, and now then, if Frederick Tiger wants to make it, he's got to pass Janssen on track, but I think that's going to be a big ask. He's still 4 or 5 car lengths back, and we've just got 3/4 of a lap to go.
I really think Westman could have won this race on pace alone. He went nearly a second quicker than Tiger on the last time around, and similar on Janssen, but he'll be pleased nonetheless to be second and securing himself a place in the final.
Tiger's transmission chattering away at the bottom of the hill. Look at it though on exit. Just, if ever a car deserves the use of the word mega, that is one, isn't it?
Looks so progressive, doesn't it?
Oh, just listen to it. Just epic.
It looks far more drivable than a 500 brake horsepower rear-wheel drive should.
Yeah. Bit of damage from turn 1 there for Rolving. Christensen comes across at the back of the pack. Simon Tiger has got the job done. I wonder how much Simon needs to do to win SM.
Well, Emil Oman won the first semi-final as well, didn't he? So they've just neutralised each other.
I don't know what the points were, though, do we? How far ahead or behind he was. So the Swedish guys are here as well covering SM, but
Westman had a mega start, but it's not ideal, is it? So watch him. He's going to go up the middle of the 2 Tigers in a Tiger sandwich, but now he's got stuck on the outside, and it's actually allowed Frederick Tiger, who was second, to cut back in, and that's what the guys are saying about starting third better than better than second, but it's only good if you can get up the inside of the guy in front of you.
Look at going through that gap. You'd think, wouldn't you, that Frederick might have shut the door. I love how quickly Frederick and the awareness to move to the inside. Okay, bit of contact then with Westman, and then
Westman's start was
got into the back of him.
Westman's start was too good because he got stuck on the outside of Frederick.
Yeah,
Simon,
it almost would have been better just to stick it on the bootlet of Simon. You'd be guaranteed P2 off turn 1, and he ended up P3.
That's quite a difficult calculation to make when you're launching a
pulling gears with 500 horsepower rear-wheel drive car. Yes. Tiger, Westman, Janssen make the cut. For the rest, the season's over. Sondrevshin. Someone says it sounds like Mission Impossible. That must be surely about the Junior CrossCar Semi-Final 1. We went from P5 to the front. Clara Anderson, who is just with the gold hat on, has won her class in the Swedish Championship, Hal.
Yep, and we're about to see her in a bit. There's Niels Anderson doing some reaction practice ahead of the start. He's about to take in a few minutes' time. Very
similar processes going on through the paddock. Look, that's German, isn't it, I think?
It's not, no. It's amazing how those things have become normal.
Yeah.
You know, 10 years ago, you never saw stuff like that at this level.
Do you remember the ball, the odd-shaped ones you used to see? It might have been backwards. They used to bounce, and they bounce off at a funny angle, and you have to try and get them. Okay, on to CrossCar. Halberg versus Osterberg on the front row. That is a really incredibly long hold, and this is absolutely crucial for these guys. Halberg hasn't got a good start. Osterberg's going to move across, shut the door. Surely he can. So Osterberg gets in and closes the door on Halberg. Halberg currently leading the standings. The great start for Osterberg. That's what he needed, Hal. We were saying how tricky it is to start from the outside line. He's got it done immediately.
It was a long hole, wasn't it? But a brilliant start from Jimmy Osterberg on the outside. Halberg under pressure from Isaac Eganson behind in the speed car Wonder. Halberg's managed to gap him a bit going up the hill, and now it'll be a battle of joker strategy between the top two. But of course, you can't afford to joker too early and drop into the traffic. So I would expect Halberg to follow Jimmy Osterberg on the opening lap. Yeah, he's going to do that. I think Treuterud hasn't taken the start, but I'm not sure why that is. Has he or not? No, I don't think so.
Looking at the timing screen, no, DNS for Treuterud.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no danger with the championship front runners at least.
But with only 5 cars, it does make it a little bit easier to take your joker, especially with Bendixson having jokered on lap 1 now.
And with 5 laps. You know, we always say, don't we, you've got 6 cars, or okay, 5 cars and 4 laps. One of you is going to joker with somebody else, whereas now with 5 cars, 5 laps, if you could, in theory, all joker on your own lap. Not tactically necessarily what you want, but not compromised by somebody else's decision.
Halberg's very good on that drive up the hill through the corner after the second jump here, and then in the braking area, carrying a lot of pace behind Jimmy Osterberg, sticking with the leader for now, still waiting for Per Goodison to joke in the background. I think they're dropping him a little bit, but yeah, you just won't want to risk dropping into that traffic. You're better to follow Osterberg to the end than risk losing a position overall.
I'm interested to see if there's a difference here in pace on different parts of the circuit, because Halberg was literally on the back of Osterberg as they came through the last couple of corners.
Halberg's great through here, Andrew.
Yeah. Across the top of the hill, let's watch if he closes Osterberg down. Look how close he is to the grass as they come over the crest. But it's maybe the last corner, Hal. I mean, what's the gap now is what, 5 car lengths. Osterberg left foot braking the car, and he saw Halberg there, big chucker right lock. He's going to go joker. He does. Halberg goes joker this time. You can see the attitude in the car. In early, big dust cloud up behind Halberg, going to try and get back out. Won't want to get held up here by Eganson. Is that going to work out or not, Hal? Do you think he thought he'd get out in front of Eganson?
It is a risk, isn't it? And he absolutely smashed the joker lap, really carried the momentum through it. Maybe didn't expect to catch Eganson so quickly, but at the moment he's not losing that much as long as Eganson goes this time around, which of course he doesn't have to do with a couple of laps still to go. Now it's hard for Osterberg's spotter, isn't it, in the RallyX squad? Do you joker now and drop back into that gap in between? If Eganson doesn't, I would keep him out.
I'd keep him out too. I just can't see the point. You just need another consistent lap. You just be telling him now, just keep it tidy, and that's worked out well for Halberg. Halberg's been released. What's the gap then? The gap between Osterberg and Halberg is 2.6. It's going to be really close, but Osterberg will have the exit speed off the joker. See, that's the other thing, Hal, is you could go no joker now because you'll make more pace on the exit all the way to turn 1. So you could have actually gone on that last lap and used the extra speed to make the gap a bit bigger, but you risk falling into that.
Depends when you want that pace advantage, though, because the momentum you carry off the joker is useful if the guy on the inside's close to you too. So yes, it's better on overall lap time, but not necessarily the perfect scenario in that sort of battle. We're about to see that now.
This is where I wish we had a couple more loops around the circuit, because we won't get another update on time. It's only the one timing loop. Osterberg coming in, trying to keep his title hopes alive. Can he get Halberg here? Halberg on the inside line. Osterberg going to try and cover him off. Around the outside, he hits him. Halberg tried to cover it. Osterberg went round the outside. Halberg now will be hoping to roll over the line backwards. Doesn't want to lose any points to make it through. Just makes it through. Brilliant awareness from Halberg to roll backwards over the line. He very nearly lost his place in the final to Per Goodison. Wow. So for me, no issue there for me, Hal. Halberg was trying to cover off Osterberg. Fair go, he could do that. And Osterberg was trying to go around the outside. That's got to be a racing incident for me. What do you think? Go on, just be honest.
Well, I want to see it again in the replay, then I'll let you know my thoughts. But I could see it coming. Yeah. Like through the corner, I thought he's going to try and run him wide here.
I thought Osterberg might go inside, but then if you do that...
the speed difference is so high that it's really difficult to do that. Osterberg won all this on the start, didn't he? And then was obviously... It's such a heavy landing there. It's amazing more tyres on these cross cars don't get pushed off the ring, because the sidewall's quite high, isn't it, off the wheel. So much deflection in the side of the tyre on the jump landing. Really, Halberg could have done with these guys joking a little bit earlier. This is the moment, okay, on the last lap. So Osterberg's running... No, I don't think there's any malice from Halberg there. He's run.
I don't think. I was thinking, could they penalise Osterberg for coming from the joker? But Halberg's just trying to cover him, and they're side by side. By the time Osterberg here, watch now. Osterberg, they're actually side by side. Osterberg can't do anything at this point, can he? And Halberg's just going a little bit more sideways than he thought he was.
I think Halberg's got into the throttle harder than maybe he would have done in an ideal scenario. But like you say, the awareness here is amazing.
If he hadn't kept full lock on going, look at that, and you know, Goodison's going, just desperately trying to make it. He wants another 100 or so revs to try and make it through that gap. He came within an ace of making it, and Halberg came within an ace of falling out of the championship fight. So not only that, but Osterberg has taken 2 points off Halberg.
So that's equalised where they were.
Yes, it has, yeah, because they came equal on points 2 here. Then Osterberg qualified. Oh my God, my brain hurts. My brain really hurts. They're going to look at the intermediates, but it's right now this has actually changed since then. So that's how they qualified. So Halberg took 2 points off Osterberg by getting TQ when Osterberg was in P3. Then Osterberg's just won Semi-1 and gets 6 points. So I'm going to add those onto my little chart.
So if Rierson finishes second now and gets 5,
they'd be equal again.
They'd all be equal.
Oh, don't. Mind you, it makes it easy in the final, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Easy maths. Then I was thinking as well, what about drop scores? Like in theory, these guys are winners and P2 guys. No, they can't drop the score from here.
This won't be their worst score, though, will it?
No, but even if it was, they can't drop the score from here. Do you have to count this weekend, or do you have to do this weekend? Not sure. Doesn't matter. We're just going to have a great fight in the final. I want Rierson to go through now. Rierson on the pole, Svard alongside. Baldins, Penton and Hooker and Anderson. You can't count Baldins or Penton out. Great start, Rierson. Baldins 2 from row 2. Baldins going to try and get inside Svard, but can't. Svard slots in behind Baldins, holds on to that inside line. Svard, I thought, gave Rierson a little nudge on the way in. Rierson, though, he's out clear in front. Baldins guns the throttle, runs himself out wide, shuts the door to the outside line. So it is Rierson, Svard and Baldins. Look at Baldins' throttle there. You can see the nose just come bang up to the top of the full drop of the suspension. He's on it.
We talk about that not a lot, don't we? But it's brilliant to see the attitude of the car. Baldins on the brakes going up the hill just to cover off Svard.
Oh, and he's having to defend from the inside. He won't even know that's coming. I think that's Hukar, isn't it? It might be Hukar at the back. There are 2 very similar coloured cross carts in there.
It's Pentonen.
Yeah, Pentonen. I thought was going to have a crack at that, how that, but the optimistic would have been the words I might have used there. Pentonen goes joker. So Pentonen feels that a bit of clear air will help, but is he going to get any clear air? Yes, he is, because Hukar's gone in behind him. So that's actually worked out all right. And Anderson is quick anyway, so Anderson's out there.
Riersen's shown brilliant pace over the last few years, hasn't he? He's had some real turbulent times, though. Lots of reliability issues in the past. Swapped car for this year, and he has been amazing to watch when he's been on a big push, hasn't he? Had problems this weekend as well. Clutch and then gearbox through qualifying, and the mixed-up weather conditions. Now he's just about keeping his head down, eyes forward, not making any mistakes. They've got a lot of experience in the EKS JC team, obviously. This is a big moment, because not only will he take us, if I don't want to jinx him obviously, but if he won this race, not only does he take a single point advantage, but he's also got pole.
Yeah.
Having said that, you watch the first corner and I'm almost wincing for him, because you feel so nervous for the guy leading, because it's just a small tap it takes from the pack behind to get you over-rotated.
It is, but that point lead is crucial. You then go from pole, don't you? We've said all along how important that is. Halberg's spin at the end there could be utterly crucial, because if Halberg he wouldn't have beaten Osterberg though, would he? So he got P2 anyway, so he's row 2, and because Riersen out-qualified Osterberg, he gets pole if he wins semi-2, doesn't he? So yeah, it wouldn't have made too much difference, but it's the point. It is the point. Joker for Svard from P2, Baldin's P3, and then a joker in the background for Anderson. Anderson's trying to cover off Hookart at the back of the pack. Anderson going to go wide around Hookart. Oh, what's going on here? Baldins has lost a place to Svard.
Svard up the inside of Baldins. Svard's been really impressive this weekend, hasn't he? Really taken the fight to some of the fastest guys in the CrossCar Championship, and that's no mean feat, because the level in this class is massive.
And Svard only did a couple of rounds, did Hollius. Let me see, I'm pretty sure it was. No, that's Tommy Svard. See which
runs a bit wide on the exit. That's exactly where Kevin Eriksson was telling us earlier you don't want to be, because all the loose gravel's out there. Baldins is going to joker now to try and cover him off, Andrew.
In he goes. Yes, Svard did. Holly's got P5. Baldins got understeer in the middle of the corner there, but he's going to get lucky anyway on the exit, because it was all going on the standard lap. Okay, who's going to make it, Hal? Riersen, what's the gap from Riersen back to Svard? Is 3.5. It's enough, isn't it? It's easily enough. Riersen's just got to keep it super tidy now. They'll be on the radio to him, will they, you think? Yeah,
he's experienced enough to take the sort of information he needs to take now. Is you've got a good margin, keep it tidy, but you can't afford not to push. But it's all about maintaining the gap you've got while not over-driving.
Look at that.
He is so on top of that car,
yeah,
isn't he?
He is. It came in there over the berm of loose gravel that's built up on the outside of the corner. Riersen into the joker lap now, just a few metres to go. On the gas and over the line, no understeer, no oversteer, no chance for Spark to shut the door. Riersen wins semi-final 2, and with that takes a 1-point advantage into the final over Halberg and Osterberg. So basically, if you win the final, you are the RallyX Nordic champion, because it's 8 points to the winner and it's 5 points to P2. We have got ourselves a showdown like we had in South Africa 2019. With the top 3 going through to the... we've got an extra car in it. That's the carnage element. Riersen, I thought, almost got a nudge from Svard there, Hal, but I think Svard stayed off him.
Another long hold on the lights, wasn't it? A bit of fighting further back. Anderson up the inside of Penton there. I love how on top of the car Isaac Riersen is. Look at the rotation here. He's already round the corner. It's not like grabbing the handbrake in a supercar where you're braking drive to the rear wheels and locking the rear wheels. You've got to do it all with the inertia in the chassis and the inputs you're making with the brakes and the throttle and the steering. There's such a good learning environment for car control.
So we've got a 4-point gap in junior cross car between Lucas Anderson and Alex Gustafsson. 149 to Anderson, 145 to Alex Gustafsson. Forgive me if I'm wrong with any of this, because it's stuff I've written with a pen during the racing, so you'll have to forgive the other mistakes as well. We're literally adding it up as we go. And in cross car now it's Halberg, Osterberg, Riersen. Riersen is in the lead on 138 points. Halberg and Osterberg are equal on 137 each, but it is Osterberg with... No, sorry, it's Riersen, isn't it, with pole? So Osterberg on the outside, but that's where Osterberg started in his semi-final. He managed to win, so all to play for. Casper Janssen with TQ. That's got to be Casper's first top qualifier spot. We didn't see that earlier on today, did we? So we hadn't got the points together, I'm afraid. Casper Janssen takes the TQ. Absolutely. We're going to claim that. We said Casper was one to watch at the start of the year when he came in all sendy and on the limit and awesome. And then, in fact, he's one of the reasons we invented the full send medal. Him and Hookar, wasn't it, in Denmark? And as the season's gone, he's got better and better, and he's taken TQ. From the likes of Enland Houman, Mattis Janssen is up there. That's a good performance. Niels Andersen, George McGuinness, your top 6. Top 12 have gone through.
Big afternoon for EKSJC in the cross cars, and a big afternoon for Enland's Motorsport in the lights.
I always feel nervous when we get to championships. I just do. You just know how much effort they've put in, and that probably comes from having had a crack yourself when you're younger, and you just know you've spent every spare second and every spare penny on it. Amazing start from row 2 for Niels Andersen, but I don't think he's going to find a gap through. Kasper Janssen gets into the door of Houman and gets a little bit sideways, holds onto it. Is he going to run wide? Olofsson and Andersen are side by side. Andersen going to get P3 here. Olofsson drops back. It's Kasper Janssen who gets the whole shot. Tommy Houman in P2, Andersen in P3, then Olofsson. And it's, so basically, Hal, now it's a game of jokers, isn't it, for who's going to make it through. 5 laps, top 3 going through to the final. Kasper probably not got quite the ultimate pace that Houman has got behind. But Houman can't joker and try and overlap him until there's a gap behind.
No, not in dry, equal conditions, I think. Kasper's still got a bit to learn. There's Sandra Holgen on the radio to Simon Olofsson. She's just told him to joker if no one else does. Yeah. Mats Oskarsson sticks on the inside. Niels Andersen's got a problem. They all bunch up.
No, Olofsson's hit the tyres on the inside line, got bogged down. Now that's not gone well at all, but it hasn't gone so badly. Is it Emma Persson at the back, I think, who's joking? Yeah, Olofsson's off! Oh, he's pulled off. I thought he'd gone off towards the wall. Olofsson's had, do you know what? I've had enough. I'm going home. So maybe an issue with the car. That may have been where it over-rotated, Hal, or he may have broken a shaft when he's hit the tyre stack, but he knows. So Simon Olofsson, where is Olofsson in the standings? He was P4. So Olofsson was P4. So that's Martin Enland, Martin Jonsson, and Linus Osland, all with a little bit less pressure. How far back?
Niels Andersen, despite having that little moment last time around, has caught back up to the back of these leading pairs. Sorry, Andrew. Now he's all over the back of Tommy Holman. Niels made a good start, didn't he? Managed to get up the inside. He was telling me in the gap that just here, remembering Q4 when he over-rotated the car, the wheel actually jumped out of his hands and he really hurt his left shoulder. So for the first couple of laps, he was in agony driving the car. But
that's something I wanted to talk to you about earlier when you said it from the drone shot where we saw the deflection of the wheels. What people don't realise is physically, these cars are extremely demanding to drive. So if you can imagine holding onto your steering wheel with 5 times the grip you've got in your road car, on the limit, and then somebody smacks into it with a speed differential of 30 miles an hour, I can promise you it hurts. I'm pretty sure I broke my finger racing one of the buggies the other year, and that was my fault because I hit the tyres in 4th gear. Only clipped them. Andersen going to the joker. But the point is, it's very easy to get injured when you're strapped in, you're hanging on as hard as you can. Andersen trying to come out. And I said, didn't I, that I thought it wasn't a bad move by Persson to have jokered that early with everything that was going on out front. So Persson is in the mix here with Andersen. Oskarsson, I think, is going to be gone because Andersen, I think, will get up to the back. Has Houman now got enough space to joker, or does Houman go? Because this is Houman's not actually on the back.
There's something going on here, isn't there? Because Mats Oskarsson has got better pace, or did have better pace last time around than the leading pair. Niels Andersen had gone all the way back up to the back of Tommy Holman as well. Wonder what they're doing on their tyre strategy. Of course, we don't know from here. Holman looks like he's going joker, doesn't he?
Yeah. Kasper Janssen sideways in.
This is to cover off Andersen.
Yeah, so Andersen's going to come through. Houman's going to try and get it. Andersen's going to try and run it wide, shut the door. Houman up the inside. Really nicely done. Great racecraft from both. Very, very good from both, because that could have been a mess with Oskarsson in the middle of it as well. So I think Oskarsson in some ways probably helped with them having to lift a little bit and knowing there wasn't an option to really stick it.
And this has given Kasper Janssen the win, barring disaster for him, because by losing a bit of time now behind Oskarsson.
On pole in the final. Let's have a look back and see what he's done. So Kasper's best result, Hal, is 5th 3 times. He was 5th in Oulu, and 5th again in Hollius, 6th in Hollius 1. So he's made the final 3 times. Had 1 P6 and 2 P5s, the last of which was that race in Oulu. Here he comes now round the last corner. Kasper Janssen took his first TQ, wins his first semi-final, will be on pole in the final for Lites here at Arvika. Great drive, Kasper Janssen. With Tommy Houman behind, don't forget. We wonder what's going on with Houman. Hal said about tyre strategies, he's saving something for the final, but you wouldn't want to save enough to not be on the inside line, would you? Oh, not even be on the front row.
His best lap was 3/10 off. There's Tommy's father, just giving him some information. 3/10 off his best lap was on Janssen. Niels Andersen actually set the fastest lap of the race.
Just needed to set another couple.
I think that contact with Janssen, it looked like Tommy had quite bad understeer for a lot of the race. That was quite heavy contact in the first phase of the opening corner. You can easily knock the tracking out with an impact like that.
And then you can't do the lap times anyway. So you can, we know Howman can get it done further back, but let's not take anything away from Janssen. He didn't actually get the best start, look. The drone shows you that. And he just misses the end of the Armco and there's a nudge on Howman, but I don't think it's enough of a nudge for stewards to do anything.
Great.
Anderson's clean through the inside there.
Watch Anderson's car, Casper Janssen's car, hook up on the inside and then push wide with the understeer, then grip up again and turn back in again. You're just relying on the grip coming back to you at that stage. I think this is where we're going to see Olofsson hit the tyres on the inside. Oscarsson's going for a send up the inside. There is a gap.
It's not a bad move, to be fair. Then does he then hit and you see he's sandwiched between the two cars? That's probably a fairly big impact on Olofsson.
Olofsson's steering's broken.
Yeah, front right's not working, is it? Oof. Into the tyre stack, and I feel sorry for Simon because he started the year, as you say, brilliantly, Hal, with a win. It was actually a total clean sweep. Yeah. That's the way it goes sometimes. Not the way we'd want to finish the season. Needs to come back, punch in next year. Emil Persson also a DNF. Oscarsson fourth, but Anderson, Howman and Janssen go through. Casper Janssen wins the semi-final. What's Casper's best semi up until then was he did get a second in the semi in Hollius. But that is a semi-final win, and that is pole in the final for Casper Janssen. First season it is, isn't it, in Lights?
Yeah,
first event was
season,
Denmark, wasn't it? That's mega. I think, Hal, along with building our rallycross track, we should start some sort of talent agency. What do you think, where we spot young rallycross drivers, sign them up to the Ridge Coley sort of...
agency?
Yeah, what's that one that OJ and that drive for? There's all the big... There's Vatanen, isn't there?
Even managing.
Yeah, it's even... What's the Vatanen one? Do you remember? There's two, aren't there? There's the two big A, because who's Kristoffersson with?
Even, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, me and Hal are starting a talent agency because we think we're good at it, aren't we?
We've spotted one driver who's done it quite well. I've spotted some drivers, but to be fair, they're just driving well, and I've gone, they're good.
Yeah. But mate, that's all these talent people do. So that's it. It's really simple. Don't tell anyone at home. It's really simple. So that's it. There's my next job sorted. I'll start to a little website when we get home. Start an Instagram account. Mega. Okay, we've got Enland, Janssen, McGuinness, Osland, Jonsson and Hookfist in this one. I'm trying to see. So Niels has gone through, Howman's gone through, Olofsson's gone out, so that's some of the pressure off Osland. We haven't got updated points, unfortunately. We should have had updated points, championship points, to know where we're at would have been what we really need. Good start on the inside line for Enland. Janssen's gone backwards. McGuinness has gone straight up the inside. Osland is outside him. McGuinness could hold on to P2 here, and does. McGuinness has got great racecraft. He's 16 years old. We've said this all weekend. He came in the commentary box on day one and gave just the best media performance you'll ever see out of a 16-year-old. But also, he's a great kid, isn't he? Just a nice guy. And then he went out, properly wheeled it, and has done so all weekend. Wet conditions, never driven the car. Now he's in P2 in his semi-final house. A lot of pressure now.
So that's three signings we've got to make on Monday. Casper Janssen, McGuinness. Tommy Holman and McGuinness.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin and Eric.
Yeah,
they're there, right on cue.
Yeah, off you go. Off you go. They're going to be with Coley and Hal squad rather than Yellow squad. We're going to need hats and stuff, mate. I don't think we're cool enough for all this. We'll figure it out.
You don't look great in a cap, do you? No, I'm not saying I look great in a cap either.
Well, I think we do, actually. I think we look great. It's all about the confidence, mate. If you wear it with confidence, then it's all good. You walk into a bar in a shirt you're not sure about, you look like a muppet. You wearing this shirt's awesome. Everyone's like, that guy looks rad. It's as simple as that. Enland is leading from McGuinness. McGuinness with Osland in behind. So where's Osland in the standings? Osland is in
third,
P3, yeah. But he's about 11 points behind Anderson.
He's putting big pressure on McGuinness now, isn't he? But McGuinness, what a fantastic job he's doing. What a fantastic job Martin Enland's doing as well. Last year he was there or thereabouts, and this year he's had moments of brilliance. And this weekend, the Enland squad's really got it hooked up. Linus Osland into the back of George McGuinness through the final corner. McGuinness has got the inside into turn one. Osland stuck on the outside, nowhere to go.
And look, McGuinness ran him out wide. He's just run him out a little bit wide.
Right, that's the Carter in him, isn't it? Yeah. There's all that racecraft of just forcing someone wide. There's nothing wrong with that at all. He just forced him to the worst part of the track, and it's so frustrating when you're out there because there's nothing you can do.
I love the idea of his brother. Is it Robert? I think it is. His brother in the States who races Indy Lights and some other fantastic circuit racing. And George said, look, when I told my brother, he spent contact behind, he spent a couple of weeks trying to persuade me, no, you need to do circuit racing. I know, you know, he's going to be bursting with pride over in America as he watching, going, yes, my brother's killing it in rallycross. This is awesome. We could dominate both the loose surface and the sealed surface world.
I hope he's thinking, where can I get a drive in rallycross? McGuinness runs a little bit deep through the last corner. He's struggling to get the car turned on the exit there. Osland's all over the back of him. A brilliant defensive drive this from McGuinness. There's Morgan. Linus's
father. So what do you do here, Hal? Now we're talking, to be fair, you know, McGuinness has got a train of cars behind him. You actually got to start watching out for Janssen. Let's see what the gap is.
You have to leave him there until more of it plays out.
It's only 2.4, look, from McGuinness back to Janssen in P6 as they came across. It's a big train in behind. But if you hang on in P2, and then I think
Johnson's got a problem. Sorry, Andrew. Martin Johnson's got a problem. If that holds up Janssen or Hookfist at all, that's going to play right into McGuinness's hands. It has a little bit, hasn't it? Linus Austin Joker.
Austin goes Joker. That's taking an opportunity because of what's happened behind. It's a good move. Janssen on the inside line. Austin going to try and get around the outside to the inside, and does that. I actually think Janssen could have shut that door if he moved across a bit more aggressively and forced Austin. It's not the same as when you're racing to the line. If you're racing to the line, it doesn't matter whether you go left or right. But if you're coming out that last corner and it isn't the last lap, you push wide and make them go. You're inside. They're outside in turn one. So Janssen should have shut the door there on Austin. But this is about Enland, McGuinness, and the gap in behind as to who's going to make it through. What's your money on?
I really don't know. Linus looks like visually like he's catching McGuinness. If this wasn't the last lap, you'd joke at McGuinness now, wouldn't you? But you have to anyway, obviously.
Exactly, he's going to have to go. In goes Enland. This needs to be tidy from McGuinness behind. Enland is going to win the semis. Super tidy on the way in, but is it going to compromise him on the way out? Going to go wide, surely. Austin's going to try and shut the door. McGuinness get P2. Great drive off there. Fantastic. Kept his head, kept it tidy. I wondered if he'd gone in a little bit too soft and not quite got the rotation done, but he let the car run wide and he held on to P2 from Linus Austin. Austin will go through to the final with McGuinness and Enland. Brilliant drive by Enland as well. Enland was P2 in qualifying to Casper Janssen. So we've got our top two qualifiers have gone through to the front
Enland
row of the final.
Front row for the final.
Oof.
But
mind you, you'd rather have your teammate with you than not, wouldn't you?
Good start from Enland, a very, very good start from Enland. Good start from McGuinness as well to get up the inside. This is where we see the disadvantage of being on the outside, as Linus Osland was, because McGuinness is able to force his way up the inside, give each other a little bit, I was going to say plenty of space over the jump, just enough space over the jump. It was actually quite a poor start from Janssen, and that's what allowed McGuinness up the inside of both him and Osland.
Just looking at the points, Hal, Martin Enland was in P5 coming here. Took a third look in Oulu, was on 91 points compared to Linus Osland's 98, but he's out-qualified Osland by 1, 2, 3, well, basically he took 15 to Osland's 9, so he took 6 points off him there.
Olofsson's
so Enland, that puts Enland only 1 point behind Osland, doesn't it? But then he's then beaten. Enland's won and Osland's come P. I think Enland has just moved into third in the standings from Osland. But probably Nils Andersen has done enough to hold on to second place. So there might be a battle between Osland and Enland for third on the championship podium. Which is impressive, isn't it, from Enland? This is a real run of form. So Morgan Osland standing watching his son come through for third. Yes! Brilliant!
I know we're fans of McGuinness, but I think amazing composure for him not to just bury his car on the side of Austin at the exit of the Joker. On a debut weekend, it would be so easy to someone have big contact there, but you saw him just jink right to get away from the car.
Took it by 2/10, look. And also, Hal, the thing of, I mean, obviously he probably won't know, and I'm sure Eric and Kevin didn't go, you better watch out, mate, there's 3 of them. You know, that's not the sort of radio call you need, is it? Then I've gone, take it smooth, take it calm, no mistakes, don't break too late, keep it tidy, and he's done exactly that. Intermediate standings for Supercar. Johan Kristoffersson, the champion. Ignore the points down the side. That's just where they qualified. But he took the championship in qualifying. But Markland, with that win in Q4, Markland moved himself up from something like P6 to P2. Enzo Eid, who tried that move, because Enzo won the session in Q2 and was second in Q3, his points advantage was so much that even with the half spin and finishing, like, where did he finish in that session? He finished a long way down. He still stays right up there in the standings. Enzo was 34 points is a P10. So he's 10th in the session, yet still holds on to third. McConnell gets fourth, but how? That puts Evjen and Ericsson on the inside of row 2, and a lot of people are saying that the inside is better than the outside. But how many times have we said everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face?
He did set the fastest lap of the session in Q3, Q2, and Q4. So
yeah.
he has the pace to do this.
Yeah. When sat in Ida's motorhome just for a little bit in between, he's going to be desperate to try and beat Kristoffersson off the line. They're teammates in the World Championship. They're not teammates here, but they won't do anything silly, I'm sure. Watch for Evjen and German on row 2. Michalak and Carlson on row 3. Great start. Evjen moves straight across in behind Johan Kristoffersson. Enzo Eid trying to move in with him as well. Enzo getting a long way around. What's happened to Evjen on the inside? Backed off big time. Eid moves in and shuts the door. Great driving from Enzo Eid to hold on to P2. Behind his World Championship teammate Kristoffersson, it's Evjen who gets into P3. Behind that, I think it's, is it Michalak who's got, yeah, Michalak's got up into P4. And somehow German's gone all the way to the back.
We know how good EKS have been with race tactics in the history of Matthias Ekström's team. Now with Johan Kristoffersson, I wonder if Sondre Evjen just lifted a little bit there on the entry to the first corner, knowing he had the inside, just to back the pack up a little bit, let his teammate take second, and then they can work together to try and both get through to the final. Big
rotation on the way in for Enzo Eid, but he's closing Kristoffersson down the exit. Kristoffersson edged him by just a few car lengths on that first lap. We think Johan has got 4 new tyres, Hal, don't we? Or at least 4 that aren't very well worn.
He's got 4 brand new tyres, yeah.
And so has Kevin Eriksson. We went over to OMC and they've got 4 brand new tyres as well. Markland has only got 2. And remember, we know what a big tyre game this sport is.
Yeah, Fraser McConnell's got 4 slightly used, but they're not as scrubbed as they might have been, because he had a terrible run when they used them earlier on in Q3. It's actually worked out really well that Michalak and Carlson have jokered now, so that's going to open up the joker strategy a little bit.
Right now, I wouldn't send any of these 3, though. You've got such big gaps, you don't want to drop back, do you? None of them are too close to the car in front to be losing. You could go another lap without losing too much time. Evjen now, though, closes on to the back of Eid, so German, I think, is in trouble because both the cars behind. I wonder if there's a problem for German because he's not on the pace he was on before.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a little problem for Eid as well, because he's dropped back off Johan and into Evjen. While they don't necessarily want a joker, EKSJC obviously don't want Enzo to have a problem and that costs Sondre time and then both lose out as well. So they need to manage that situation.
Split the strategy, basically. You might as well, they'll split the strategy now. They'll either send Enzo and he will cover off behind, giving Evjen. Don't forget, Evjen's fighting McConnell for second in the championship, and I'm sure that won't be lost on Enzo. Enzo is going to go, no, he's not. I thought he was going to go joker. Rotates the car early, gets it straight. Evjen is in behind. What's the gap back? Johan Kristoffersson looking down at the stopwatch, back up at the track 3 times inside a second. Kristoffersson, meanwhile, just giving himself 8 or so car lengths. This is great for Eid. He said to me, I want to follow Johan. He did say that earlier on and just see what's going on.
Probably not just quite close enough. His best lap's half a second behind that of his World Championship teammate, and he's probably not quite enough to be learning much at the moment. His eyes are fully, I don't suppose to be bothered about learning too much at the moment. It's all about trying to make the final.
3-second gap last time round between Evjen and German. I think the window's open for all 3 to joker together if they want to. They could certainly send Ida and Evjen now. Kristoffersson's going to wait to the last lap because he doesn't even need the extra time.
Evjen's in.
Evjen goes now. So Evjen's speed down this next straight will be high, and so his lap time will be faster, which might close the gap down onto Eid. But don't forget, Eid will have more speed off the joke lap on the exit. So P2 and P3 definitely up for discussion here. That's what we're going to call it. A discussion off the last corner between Evjen and Eid, who are, of course, running with the same squad this weekend. Kristoffersson looking imperious out front. He'll know there's a bit of a fight. By now, Johan is so wily that he'll have backed off just to use the tyres just that little bit less. Here he comes, 3-time world champion. Now he's got a RallyX Nordic title to add to the trophy cabinet. In and around on the inside line, super smooth. In comes Enzo Eid, watch out on the inside. Where's Evjen? Evjen going to come and try and block, but Eid gets him. Enzo Eid with a great drive for P2. Sondre Evjen gets third. Fantastically well managed by the top 3 on the grid. and they all go through. That's a great drive by Ede. Great drive.
Very, very good, yeah.
There's a lot of bad luck this year, but you can't let it get to you. You can't let it get inside your head. And I think probably he'd be honest enough to say sometimes it has.
Let's watch the first corner and see what happens with Evian. So Evian's gone to the inside. He's run a little bit wide. He's almost got distracted by... I don't think he has backed off at all, actually. I think I was completely wrong, because he's gone wide, had a knock with Gurman. Gurman's lost out badly. I wonder if he had some damage steering, because he didn't have the pace through the course of the race that we've seen so far through the course of the whole weekend. Evian then later on went back up to the back of teammate Enzo Ede. You really don't appreciate how steep that hill is from the drone shot, but the drone is brilliant at seeing the action. Let's look again and see what happens with Evian. So Evian comes to the inside behind former teammate Christopherson. Ede's doing the right... I think Evian was running a little bit wide to protect the position, then took a bit of a whack from Gurman behind. I don't think that would have damaged Gurman's steering, actually. It was more of a front-to-rear contact than a side-to-side. Well, a well-managed race that by the EKS guys. You could easily trip over each other in that
And
scenario.
also, you know, you got not different priorities. You know, you got Enzo Ede here, who's with the team in the World Championship as well. You got Evgen here, who's just doing Nordic. Evgen's trying to fight for the title. Ede is one of your main two drivers for the year. They've not... Yeah, it's a tricky balance, isn't it, to keep everybody happy and try to keep everybody's championship hopes alive. So it's Christopherson, Ede and Evgen who go through to the final. There's a message from George McGinnis saying 2% chance of rain on his app. You remember he said on Friday 2% that we looked out the window, it was absolutely hurling it down. So I imagine if it rains now...
But at least it doesn't matter on time. At least people just have to deal with what's in front of them.
It's just going to slow it down a bit, isn't it? A lot. On the front row there, you saw Fraser McConnell, who is fighting for P2 in this championship. McConnell out-qualified Evgen by 1 place, which means that, how far apart were they? They were 6 points apart. So now they're only 5. Evgen was 3rd, so Fraser needs another good result here to try and get that gap down a bit more, Hal. It's going to come down to the final, I think, obviously, assuming Fraser makes it. And looking at this grid, Hedstrom is a threat here. With respect to Toren and Oberg, they're not on the pace of the front 4. So only one of these front 4's not going to make it. Markland, who was great in Q4, won it by 4 thousandths. McConnell, who was brilliant in Q4 as well. He won the first round of the season. Kevin Eriksson here gets a good start. Fraser McConnell got a brilliant start. They're going to try and turn it on Markland. Markland gets into him. Peter Hedstrom's going to try and go through a gap that doesn't exist. McConnell trying to go all the way around the outside and gets out into the dirt, drops down, he glances off the barrier. Hedstrom does some sort of Colin McRae style jump in the background. The Subaru's at that angle in that wonderful picture by McLean in San Remo, and he's replicated it, spun round and gone completely backwards. Meanwhile, on the inside, Markland, I think, ended up on the dirt, and it's Kevin Eriksson who leads. What happened in turn 2? I was looking back at Hedstrom.
Disaster for Hedstrom's motorsport. Kevin Eriksson capitalised massively, all of his experience. He lifted going into the first corner. Markland was getting into the side of McConnell. Markland's coming back onto the rear of Eriksson now. A small bit of contact.
McConnell trying to look for the inside line if he can, but not enough speed to be able to make it up.
I can't believe Markland's still second after that moment over the jump. That wasn't a big touch, but a massive tank slapper he had actually as he careered over the gravel just here. You can see the marks. Look at the sand he's dragged onto they're struggling for traction as they come off Paddock Bend.
That's what I mean. And meantime, in the background, you know the picture I mean of McRae, don't you? Not 45-degree angle. Hedstrom's just done that and landed. I'm actually surprised he didn't break the car. It was a big old jump. Hedstrom just got a little bit too excited off the start there.
They all were. Anton was getting into the door of McConnell. McConnell made a really good start and was running around outside. I can't wait to see the replay of that first couple of corners.
So is anybody going to go? Anton goes through. Okay, so McConnell will now follow Kevin Eriksson. Kevin Eriksson has put the same diff ramps in that McConnell was using in Q4 because McConnell's car was great. They said they wanted to try something really harsh on the car and see what a difference it made. Has Markland got back out in front of Oberg? Yes, he has. Toren. So Hedstrom's P6 and he's gone. So really, this is Eriksson and McConnell's to lose now in terms of going through to the final because they've got that much more pace. But Markland obviously will be trying to hunt them down.
Kevin said he could win this, didn't he? When we talked to him after Q4 earlier on, Markland's actually visibly closing on the pair of them up the hill. I think Kevin Eriksson coming here for a bit of test and development is very true at the start of the weekend. Now I think that's completely out of the weekend. There's only one thing he wants to achieve this afternoon.
Well, Andreas said to me yesterday, we can still win this. Into the Joker lap goes Kevin. This will be to try and cover off Markham, but I think Markham might have done it. Kevin's going to get better exit speed, going to go around the outside. Markham knows he's there. Tries to shut the door and can't. So now Fraser needs these two to get into each other and try and get away, but I think they'll hunt him down and they'll respond with Fraz in a minute, but I think he's going to, well, let's see. Two
very experienced supercar drivers, Eriksson and Markland, and they'll know that you can't afford to have big contact there on the Joker exit because you can end up in a world of trouble. Gave each other just enough room, and now they're both hot on Fraser McConnell's heels.
Neither wants to risk their car either. Eriksson's car goes in a container to Nitro on Tuesday. Markland's car's going in the truck and up to Holliers tomorrow. So they cannot risk their cars, and I think they're both sensible enough to know that. You don't.
I'm not convinced they are sensible enough to think about that when you're side by side in a fight to get into the final. And they're all racing drivers with a helmet on. It's very different, isn't it?
We'll see, won't we? At the minute, it looks like Markland's dropped back just a little bit. Fraser McConnell's got a gap of 2.1 over Eriksson, 3 to Markland. He might just get out in P2 here if he's lucky.
I mean, if he smashes his lap, he could still win. Yeah, Eriksson's gapping. I think Markland's dropping off. He's definitely dropping off the back of Kevin a little bit, but he's got good drive out of that corner up the hill.
43.3 from Fraz. He's also done the quickest lap of the race, Hal. So Hal went 7 tenths quicker than Kevin Eriksson on that last lap. Fraser McConnell, the Jamaican, is on a big push. Can he go from outside row? I think he might be able to do this. Fraser McConnell coming into the Joker lap now. Eriksson on the inside. McConnell will have better exit speed. He guns the throttle, 600 horsepower now, racing to the line. Fraser McConnell wins from Eriksson with 2 absolute bangers on the last lap. Great Joker, fully lit over the line. McConnell wins semi-final 2 from Kevin Eriksson and Anton Markland. And 2 laps ago, you wouldn't have had that down. Fraser has killed it on the last 2 laps.
Absolutely smashed in those laps, didn't he? And I think great tactics from MSE as well to get Kevin Eriksson in from the lead.
43.3. And in fact, then Anton and Kevin did their quickest laps on the last lap, 43.6, 43.8, but it was too late.
Let's go back to that in a minute. Let's watch the first corner first. So McConnell makes a mega start. Markland's already into the side of him because McConnell's got nowhere to go. Hedstrom's gone onto the inside of McConnell, but hasn't got the rotation done. Got massive understeer. Kevin Eriksson's minding his own business, just nipped through on the inside. McConnell
hits the wall, Hal. I'm sure he hits the wall when you see the other angle. Watch the jump. Here we are.
Hedstrom's right in the back. Oh my goodness me! Wow.
That's what I was seeing in the background. Then you see Markland's on the lock stops over the curbs the other way, tearing off the underfloor of the car.
Kevin Eriksson's so lucky that wasn't more damage to the rear of the Civic. That was a big hit, wasn't it? Kevin makes a brilliant start, just like McConnell does.
From the top, yes.
Hedstrom turns in here, then's got chronic understeer, so he's in the side of McConnell.
Look at Kevin, look, he's about to pass 3 cars in turn 1 until he gets it right. So look at McConnell hits the wall, just nudges it in the rear, so he's done brilliantly over the jump.
We just missed Hedstrom's moment, but it's still going on there. He spins, pretty sure the car's... Well, maybe the car isn't broken, because he still finished the race. We didn't see him again. Markland did so well to save that.
That could be pace.
That could be weekend over.
And also that could be the difference between winning the semi-final or not, but it's not.
Kevin took quite a hit in the rear wheel again. That rear corner's taken some abuse from Hedstrom and Markland, both the Hedstrom Motorsport cars. Let's see it again. Is it? Yeah. Is it?
Is it? Another in-joke, sorry. McConnell on the inside line.
This is exactly what the Hansen squad did in Barcelona a couple of weeks ago in the World Championship range. You're almost sacrificing the race leader to guarantee yourself a 1-2 for the team, because Eriksson running in front of Markland gave McConnell the clear air, and he absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, and he had to nail it. You know, it's not a given. He had to nail it. And that lap time he did, the 43.3 that Fraz did, he took 7 tenths off them on the previous lap. And that is what made the difference. Fraser McConnell wins semi-final 2. There'll be a big old party going on right now with everybody watching on Sportsmax. Kevin Eriksson in P2, Anton Markland P3, Oberg Toren, Hedstrom ends up P6. I'd love to see the Hedstrom angle again over that jump. I
quite like to see the onboard.
I don't want to see the bill. There must be bent parts on that. Well, maybe not. You know, these are supercars. They can do some crazy stuff, but that is, yeah, that's going a bit beyond. Right, we've got a bit of track prep going on now, I think. Yes, we have. Hello. Whew. Right. So what do you think?
Good semis, really good semis.
Yeah, really good.
Great way to end the
best racing
end
actually
the year.
of the weekend. The racing's been good, but the semi-final racing's been.
Haven't seen massive amount of on-track overtaking, have we? We've seen some great strategy, but yeah, some brilliant on-track overtakes.
Fire emojis, basically, isn't it? That was what the semi-finals were.
Could you impersonate a fire emoji?
No, I can't, sadly. Like, is that a fire emoji? I think it is, isn't it? Right, well, we're going to take a very short break, and you can look at us trying candy. See you in a bit. You know, we're a very serious broadcast team, so for some reason we're being forced to taste Swedish candy. Andrew Coley, Hal Ridge, Fraser McConnell, Oliver Eriksson, who's going to be dealing out the goods. Let's go.
Let's go for it.
First off, one of my favorites.
Oh, mate, I love Don Bars.
I thought it was going to be a blind test, and I was really ready for the kicks, but... Most rated. Taste, texture, look. That's why I grade them. Taste. Waiting for the aftertaste. I'll start with texture. Really good first bite. With the caramel.
Fraz, just so you know, I get the feeling this whole feature is going to be about 3 minutes long, so
Speed up.
Might be best if you just cut to the chase.
Overall, I'd give it a 8.6 for a chocolate. Yeah.
9.1.
Yeah,
wow.
Let's go.
Wow.
Love Time Bars.
8.5.
That's aggressive.
Oh no, I just know. Just looking at the packet, you just know this.
Gonna blow your head off.
It's got
Can you
fire on it. What's that all about?
Fire candy. It has triple heat.
Okay, just quickly, it says Turkish on it, so that can't be Swedish. Look at it. It says Turkish on the packet.
Is that from Avitas?
Is it really Swedish?
Even Oliver doesn't know if it's Swedish, and he's Swedish. It's because you've got flames on it.
No. Don't put it in your mouth.
Really?
Holy moly. That's not good.
Oh, that is foul.
Look. Texture. Taste. 0.
That's a rookie number, mate.
A hard 0.
Rookie number.
Negative 5.
0.1.
Negative 10.
So, okay, just stop for a minute, because plop is like, that's a childish word for poo, basically, in the UK, plop. So it's not a good start, is it?
The look is already starting me at a 6.
There's a nutty flavour to it. No, it's a 5.5.
All right. All things considered, I'd go 5.1.
It's bad timing.
Sweden's most stolen car.
This I can vouch for.
You've had one of these
If you're on a
before?
long car ride, which I'm always with these guys, when I see you traveling all over Sweden, these go down very fast.
Thanks, mate.
Bilar,
Beautiful
Swedish
countryside.
most sold car. Take it away from these guys. These are like the
inside line. Let's turn him round.
these are the crash barriers.
Oh,
Stay
he's
away from
heading
these.
for the crash barrier of hell. And now, once you get into it,
Yeah, they can.
it's not award-winning.
No, definitely not. If Ollie picked up a stone, I'll eat it before that.
Okay, Ollie, go get something out of the grapple trap for Fraser.
Wait. You just try to bite the stove.
I know.
It came up.
I know. Right, what we got?
Kexchoklad. Some say it's good for training.
Training?
Doubt the facts though. It's chocolate
Makes you smarter.
and sugar. So.
Bueno. I've actually never eaten a whole chocolate bar until I ate Kex. And I think they look really good on the side of my car. Imagine them right here on the chest. Kex. I eat a whole bar.
So basically, that is not
Yeah.
top qualifier. That is like that's
No,
B5.
That can go
That's the
down.
bottom.
Yeah.
What are you
There's
going
nothing
on
worse
the
than
table?
that, is there?
Right, so that's like a DNF basically.
Bila, I put.
It's a massive shunt. It's
There we
on.
go.
Top.
Robert, the
Oh,
producer's
sorry.
crawled underneath, grabbed that bag and is now feeding it to the crew.
I mix
They
it-
obviously do like
Look at the Swedish people eating it. Director on the right. So is it Kex all times? Oh, not
Put it with the
at all.
ball of fire.
Look at it. You just know straight away it's going over there.
It's actually one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
most famous ones in Sweden.
Do you want us to try it?
Yeah.
Here we have
Okay,
some.
right, hold
You
it.
have to.
Okay.
On the cover, we have a monkey
Swedish
who looks like he's
delicacy.
having the time of his life.
You like that?
Oh my days.
What the hell is that?
Oh my god. I don't think he's enjoying himself. He must be like screaming for how bad
Say,
this
please
is.
can I have some water. I'm so desperately salty.
Oh my God.
Okay, look,
That has to go to the bottom.
Swede,
That's worse
yeah.
than that.
No.
Basically,
Tied.
I think the
These
liquid...
guys are
not into the liquid.
these guys are
Here we go.
DNF.
Yeah,
These guys are both DNF.
They're DNFs. They're not making the cut. Plop and Villard. That's. I can see that being good for a car journey.
Yeah.
We're having a bit of an argument over Diamond Kex.
I get excited
I've
when I
been
see
in a
this.
fuel station with you, mate, where you've been buying loads of that.
I get excited when I see
Yeah,
this.
I do.
Well,
I'm
So,
sorry,
in a
guys.
Swedish perspective, Kex wins.
yeah.
It's the most famous, I think.
So Kex is the bad boy. I'll take it. I just don't have to
So,
try any more
I'm good at convincing
weird sweets. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bilar, Kex, sponsor me.
We're getting ourselves ready for CrossCar Junior and CrossCar Finals to round out a brilliant season of RallyX Nordic for these young drivers. Maybe not so young in CrossCar, but they're certainly not old. Ooh, okay. So we have just found out that if anybody finishes on equal points, the countback will actually be who gets the best result here. And you know what? That's not a bad way to do it, because it's just slightly less confusing than having to trawl through old results, and at least the drivers know where they stand. So best result here if they were to finish on equal points. The reason we say that is these championships are very finely balanced. I'm just looking for my CrossCar Junior info and grids. About to get the final underway. CrossCar Junior to decide the title between Lucas Anderson and Alex Gustafsson. Gustafsson on the pole, Anderson on the outside. They are separated by 4 points. Lucas Anderson on the outside leads by those 4 points. So he could come second to Gustafsson, who, by the way, is the reigning champion, and take the title. There is also a fight for P3, but we'll look at that in a minute. Jump start from Hallinan. Oh, you wouldn't need that on the front row.
The tension needs rising at all. That's just done it, hasn't it?
Poor Lowry obviously would be annoyed, but it's like, dude, the front two will be going, no, no, no. Just the parents probably more. I mean, the kids are probably as cool as a cucumber. Like we're going, I bet they're really stressed, and they're probably going, I can't wait to race.
Yes.
But it's just for the total opposite. But it will be there. It will be there. Okay, let's look at that battle then. So the battle for P3 is between Rasmus Persson and Erik Nilsson. So Persson is on 122. And Nilsson is on 120.
Now, Hallinan's double joker now could play an effect, couldn't it? Because he maybe won't be in the fight for the podium positions, and that will affect what Nilsson and Gustafsson do. Sorry, Anderson and Gustafsson do.
Yeah. So double joker for Hallinan on the outside of row 2. Onto the limiter, as always, for the juniors, just as soon as you possibly can. On the inside line, Alex Gustafsson, the reigning champion, chasing down on the outside line Lucas Anderson, the pretender to it, with a 4-point lead as we go into the final race of the weekend. Going to try and get the whole shot, shuts the door immediately. Great start. Hallinan's got a good start too and manages to get in front as well. So that has very much gone the way of Lucas Anderson at the minute. Anderson from Hallinan, who's got 2 jokers to do, which will help out Gustafsson in P3. But at the minute, it's Anderson's title to lose.
Look at the dust on the paddock bend there from where Anton Markland had that moment in the Supercar semi-finals a little bit earlier on. Alex Gustafsson looking to the inside of Larry Hallinan going up the hill. He's going to go for a move like he did in the semi-finals.
Done it, absolutely done it. Hal, he has been the master of passing, and that's got the championship fight right alive, hasn't it?
He's got to do it because he can't afford. Anderson needs to finish third if Gustafsson wins, so he's got no option but to get those passes done. Now he needs to do the same again on the leader if he's got any chance of stopping Anderson taking this title.
So Gustafsson, the current champion, has been, as we say, if you missed the semi-finals early, he stalled on the line. Well, they didn't start the line. We think he wasn't in gear. We haven't had the chance to go back in the paddock and ask. Oh, nerves in the stands, isn't it? He went to start and didn't. Ended up P5 and fought his way back through to the win. It was a drive of epic proportions, but he's 4 points back from Lucas Anderson. Remember, it's 8 points for the win in the finals. If he took that, P2 is 5 points, and he'd be just 1 point behind, and he's right up behind him now. So Anderson coming under pressure from Gustafsson. He then, of course, needs Anderson to have another problem and drop just 1 place further back, and that will get the job done, Hal.
Had a little look, didn't he, going over the top of the hill? It wasn't quite close enough. He's much closer than he was. Unfortunately for Alex, Hallinan running in third probably won't come into this fight with his 2 jokers to do unless he has a blinder of a performance. Yulalami's dropped back as Yulalami's just taken the joker, so that takes him out of the contention at the moment.
I wonder if Hallinan might stay out, as late as possible, Hal, and do both the jokers at the end of the race and just see where he ends up. But that doesn't help Gustafsson, does it? Because Gustafsson would like that clean air behind, but he can't. He could drop in on the next lap because he knows Hallinan will go twice, but not yet.
Gustafsson's much closer to Anderson than he was last time around. He's going to the left at the moment. Is he going to jink right? No, he's looking to the left still.
Oh, he's side by side on the brakes. He may get a better exit here because Anderson's gone defensive. Gustafsson going to look up the inside at the end of the straight. Gustafsson's on a clean piece of track. Can he get side by side? Not quite. Going to try every single trick in the book. Remember, he is the reigning champion. Surely going to go joking from there, and he doesn't. Gets early on the brakes. Tidy on the exit, going to look now maybe at turn 1, and he still can't find a way through. Hallonen finally goes Joker. That opens up a gap behind, but it is not a massive gap back to Nilsson. It's only 3.5, but it is probably enough. Gustafsson's 0.5 off the leader, so he's got a 3-second window behind him, Halleck. Joker now, and it's going to have to be one or the other.
He can't afford...
3-second penalty for Anderson. 3-second penalty for Anderson. We have no jump start. Where's
No, that's not come up on the time screen. Alex Gustafsson goes for the move like he has done all the time. Gustafsson got out of shape on the brakes coming down the hill. Gustafsson can't capitalise yet. They've both got good drive out of the corner. Couple of laps still to go. Gustafsson's got to Joker this time around.
3 seconds. He's got to look at Anderson. Right, look at it from Anderson's point of view. What are we... We're hearing from race control now. Okay, I don't know what happened, but something pre-start, he's been given a 3-second penalty. So Gustafsson's got Joker and won't know.
So Gustafsson's just cleared Nilsson. Nilsson's yet to Joker. This is all about how close Hallonen is to Anderson at the Joker merge. I think Anderson's still got enough to get this done.
So Anderson has got to come out, not necessarily in front of Gustafsson, but has got to come out in front of Persson or anybody else behind, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose too many points. So remember, it's 8 for the win. It's 5 for P2. Anderson now probably won't even know. I'm guessing they won't tell him. They may just be saying push, push, push. They might not know themselves, Hal, in that spotters area.
No, that information is useless at this stage.
Okay, down then to the Joker lap on the final lap. Anderson for the title. Gustafsson can beat him. That's not a problem, but he mustn't get beaten by anybody else. Anderson going to come around. Might still get the job done at the finish line. It is Gustafsson that takes it from Anderson, but Anderson's going to get a 3-second penalty. What's it going to be, the gap back? Oh, it's just, is it going to be enough or not?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. Is that the difference or a cumulative?
It is, yeah. So it's 4.3 off the lead. Nilsson was. Oof.
Yeah, no, so, but Anderson's going to get a 3-second penalty.
Yeah.
Or have they put the penalty on already?
No, I think the penalty must be put on.
No! Anderson drops to 5th with the 3-second penalty. Gustafsson retains the title. Gustafsson retains the title, if that's correct. Anderson has been dropped from Peter, and now they've undone it on the timing screen. Okay, we've got no idea
Anderson
now.
was much closer. He was almost side by side with Gustafsson for the win. So
That's
if you look at
this isn't
Gustafsson's
wrong.
line is
They've
at
added
4:10.
it. They've added it already.
Yeah.
They've added it already. I couldn't. We're looking at a timing screen.
So it's 3 seconds plus the 4:10, so it's about 4:14. So Anderson's
but then
still
they
done
added it again, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not Gustafsson.
But to look at the replays, this is where he won it. Brilliant start. And he had to get that done.
He's crossed the white line too early. That's
From
what
the
penalty's for, yes.
But it's still one in the championship.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Because track position has been critical. Yeah, you can see, just saw in that shot.
You must
I wonder if we can
crossed
see
the line
that again
until you reach the end of the box there. So look, let me just talk you through it quickly for everyone at home. You'll have to understand why it's so confusing. Gustafsson and Anderson were 4 points apart, yeah? Anderson was leading. He could have come P2 and it's fine because Gustafsson only gets 3 points on him. But then he got given a 3-second penalty. So at that point, the 3-second penalty, if it had dropped him behind Nilsson or Persson, he loses 1 more point, and if they're equal, then Gustafsson would have taken the title by having the better result here. Can you see why? This is why. This is why.
Had Hallonen not jumped and got the double Joker, Hallonen would have been in that fight and probably
he might not have won
been within that 3-second gap. And if had Anderson been 3rd, that would have made all the difference.
So he then crossed the line super close to Gustafsson, and we saw on our screens. Right, hold this up there for a second if you can, Calla. Keep the graphic on just for a minute. It was 4:10.8, and he was super close to Gustafsson. Now our timing screen came up 4:14.0. Then they added the 3 seconds and dropped into P6, and we were like, oh my God, he's lost the title, and Gustafsson's retained it. Then suddenly, of course, we spotted, no, he was super close to him, so he would have been, let's say, 4:11, and you can see then, plus the 3 seconds puts Lucas Anderson into P2. Anderson, with the 3-second penalty and P2, is the champion of Junior Crosscar. There it is. Lucas Anderson takes the title by 1 point from Alex Gustafsson at the final round of RallyX Nordic, and it only took about a minute of explaining to give you the world's most complicated and convoluted point scoring system. If it wasn't for the 3-second penalty, Hal, that would have been a lot easier for everybody to understand. Amazing drive from Gustafsson. He is the master of passing. And it is Rasmus Persson who gets P3 in the standings, came here in P3 and hold everybody off. Erik Nilsson, look, was just 1 point behind in the end. The gap between them when they came here, Persson was on 103 and Nilsson was on 99. So did a good job to get close, but woo. So there we go.
Amazing racing from all of these young guys.
Well,
like,
brilliant.
all of them should be proud of what they've achieved this year.
Couldn't agree more. I just want to see him in crosscar now. There's a bit of me that I almost think if you win, you've shown you're good enough and you should be allowed to progress, but we're not at that stage yet. We've got another title to fight for here. 3 drivers in with a shout. Halberg, Osterberg, Rierson, all within a point of each other. It's winner takes all. Osterberg with a good start, but Rierson with a great start on the inside line. Rierson going to get the whole shot. Osterberg's got to shut the door on Svart. Behind Svart spins. Halberg goes up the inside. The championship fighters are in P1 to P3. Halberg came from the back row, found the window and has got through it. They are within 1 point of each other. The leader at the moment, Isaac Rierson, leads the standings by 1 point from Osterberg and Halberg behind it. Couldn't be closer.
Osterberg just had a massive look up the inside of Isaac Rierson through paddock bend and then into the next long corner as well. Has another look to the inside. Sensible gets on the curb. Rierson runs a bit wide. Oh, the tension's mounting now, isn't it, with the top 3, like you say, holding the top 3 positions. Halberg's had to fight back a lot this weekend with brilliant pace. Can he do it again now?
Late on the brakes and a wide line in for Rierson. Osterberg comes in a bit tighter. Osterberg loses out maybe on the exit a bit. Rierson stretched it by a couple of car lengths. Halberg right in the mix here. Can't really look to anyone else. How can we? It literally is winner takes all. Whoever wins this race is cross-car champion. It's that close.
Yeah, and the way the points difference works between the lead and second. Rierson now pulling a gap on Jimmy Osterberg just round that corner where he was under pressure last time around. Any of these guys would deserve the title, but Rierson's been brilliant this year and he's had a lot of hardship over the last couple of years.
Rierson's had 2 wins, a second and a third. Was DQ'd, of course, from the final in Oulu, which took away a potential championship lead coming here. Really unlucky with that as well, but he's fair enough, I think. And Halberg goes Joker. Halberg's the first of the top 3 to decide he's going to take it. Wants to get himself some space. He want to get out in front of Eganson. Eganson goes in with him. Svart comes through. Svart's Joker. That may be to cover Svart. But the extra exit speed's given Halberg a massive advantage. There are more parents having heart attacks in the grandstands. It's Rierson from Osterberg. Halberg has jokered from P3 back to P3, and now we need to watch the gap between them. He's 3.0. He's only 2.1 off the back of Osterberg after the joker.
Rierson took another couple of attempts out of Jimmy Osterberg last time around, so he's got the measure of his fellow speed car driver at the moment. Now his team will be watching the pace of Halberg, who's running in clear air, having taken the joker. This is a perfect storm of strategy for them to fight each other for the title, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think Osterberg has to go to cover off Halberg, but he's not going to this time.
I think Halberg's too close.
Halberg was 2.0 back. So 2.1 back. What is he now as they cross the line, waiting for the time he's going to update? He's 1.6 off the back. Halberg closed down Osterberg by 0.4 of a second on that last lap.
And Rierson's taken another temp. Rierson runs wide coming up to the jump, but Rierson's taken another temp out of Osterberg last time around.
So Osterberg at the minute might be looking to end up P3, because between Halberg and Osterberg they're on equal points. So even if they finish second and third, it's what order they finish in is championship order. At the minute they're in that championship order. Oh, the pressure on these guys is insane.
And they're driving brilliantly, aren't they? Rierson is just being so smooth, but so on top of that crosscar. Jimmy Osterberg almost mirroring him, tank for tank.
Osterberg goes, joking to try and cover off Halberg, but we think it's too late. Halberg was just 1.6 seconds back now. Osterberg going to get the extra exit speed, but Halberg has banged in a couple of absolutely fire laps and has done a brilliant job and gets up to P2, so Osterberg drops back. These two fighting for P2 and P3. Rierson, the only man to choke on his final lap, is going to be the champion if he can get this done.
This is all about Rierson's choke lap. As long as he gets the rest of the lap okay, 2.3 seconds back. Patrick Halberg is going into the last lap. Isaac Rierson is on a massive push. He'll be getting the call that you have to absolutely nail this right now.
So Halberg is so close. It's so close. He's 2.3 off. Rierson has to win this race to win the championship. Going into the joke lap now, he's wide on the dirt on the inside line. Halberg's going to take it nice and smooth on the inside. Rierson trying to outcome him to the line. Halberg's going to get a Rierson shooting on the tiniest of margins. It's Rierson, wins by less than a tenth of a second. It's 0.42, and Isaac Rierson is the 2021 CrossCar champion of RallyX Nordic in an absolute banger of a final. Yes!
I thought he'd overcooked it a little bit on the joker exit. It carried the momentum out. You will that is the close. We thought South Africa was a close finish in the World Championship. You will never ever smile, Joel. Smile. You will never ever get a closer championship finish than that. Wow!
I can't believe how close that was. There we go. Look, I thought that. I reckon that must be his mum, surely. But like, she was practically. She is crying now. Oh, that is his mother, Jenny. She's crying in the stands, and you have a little cry. Go on, I'm feeling pretty emotional as well. That is brilliant. It's brilliant. No way. So what is it, Hal? 42 hundredths?
It is, yeah.
42 hundredths. Yes.
Joel
incredible.
Kristofferson's put so much into the JC Race Technic Junior team, now running as part of the EKS JC squad. This will mean as much to him as winning a supercar race. He's worked so hard with these young drivers.
It's just amazing, Hal. That was a wonderful, wonderful tire fight. Halberg, from the back row, talk us through this, because he nearly won the championship from the back row.
Helped a little bit by Svard, wasn't it? Getting tipped sideways in the first corner. Opened up a little bit for him, but when things open up for you, you have to capitalise, and that's what he did. Look, he'd already lost a few car lengths to Rierson. Rierson was in the best position to have the track advantage across the course of the race, but on the last lap, he was the one being chased, and that's almost a position you don't want to be in.
Mate,
so
how perfect!
Massive pressure.
Halberg's laps, how perfect! Think about how perfect
that could have been
were.
Disaster. He ran so close to Svard's over-rotated machine, another couple of centimetres too wide, and that could have been game over.
The championship was decided by 1.034 seconds. The top three were in 1-2-3. Is Halberg who gets second, Osterberg who gets third.
We have to mention Yimi as well.
Oh, totally.
He's at the back of the shot there. In any other championship fight, let's hold that for a second. Rierson runs a little bit wide on the entry, gets it rotated nicely, runs a little, picks up the throttle early. You watch the buggy rotate wide.
Watch Halberg closing the door.
Halberg's been fair there.
Really fair.
He could have caused an accident, of course, but he could have forced Rierson into the wall.
Look at this. You will never see a championship settled. You'll see races by that kind of margin. You'll never see a championship settled by that margin ever again. There's his mum. There's his mum. She won't know either. She's going to be looking at the timing screen. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That is total unbridled joy when your kid goes and gets the job done. What a weapon. Isaac Rierson, 350.8. Patrick Halberg and Jimmy Osterberg. And he's just walked into the commentary box. Get yourself over here right now. Mate. Unreal. That was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Isaac Rierson wins the championship by 4 points, but that's absolutely irrelevant because Isaac Rierson won the championship by, what was it, 0.042, 42 hundredths of a second, mate. That is the closest championship finish I think we'll ever see in Rallycross. Halberg and Osterberg P2 and P3. We've got to come to the studio just quickly and have a word with Isaac. And Isaac, that's your first win of the season.
No,
isn't it?
No, I have won before. Yeah.
Oh, so start of the year, 2 wins. I'm looking back at 2020. Your mum went mental. Your mum went absolutely bonkers.
Oh.
Oh, honestly, mate. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong stats. She went mad. She was jumping around. She got the flag. Here he is. Come on. Oh, honestly.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, watching it from here.
Yeah, it was mental.
Did you even know you'd won? Because Halberg was so close as you crossed the line.
Yeah, I felt that time before he was. So I just kept hearing push, push, push.
Oh, mate, I bet
so I just held flat out, and then I wasn't sure if I would go left or right, and I chose the right one. So.
Oh my God!
And there was just enough room to fit the crosscar through.
Just enough.
Oh, he was very fair, wasn't he?
He was very fair.
He left you
very
there.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay, have a look at this, mate. Have a look back at this. Okay, you talk us through it because we've talked through it a bunch of times. What are they saying to you on the radio? What have they said?
Joker push, he said now.
Okay.
And you see here, I brake just a little bit too late.
Yeah,
But I get a good around the outside and get a good shunt out. So I had a lot of speed, and then I just kept it full throttle.
Oh my God!
I thought.
Look at it! Look, dude! Did you know how close? Did you know it was that close?
No, it felt bigger.
Look at it from the front. This is us trying to call the final. I'm going looking down. But you've got a wheel on the grass. It's barely wide enough to go through. That's an epic move.
I thought for a moment you might have just overcooked it a little bit on the Joker entry. How did you feel then?
Yeah, I did.
Here's your mum. Sorry, I just want you to watch this. Just watch this.
Oh!
How good is that, dude?
Yeah, that was a show.
She goes running. We spent nearly as much time looking at your mum in the crowd as we are watching this. It goes down to grab the flag.
Your family's worked so hard over the last few years, haven't they? You've had some really tough times in CrossCar, and what an amazing way to win the championship.
Yeah. Looking at Mom now, I'm tearing up.
Oh, mate, I'm tearing up here looking at your mum. I haven't even won the championship. You just get so involved in all this.
Yeah.
Dude,
Thank you.
Unbelievable. You take a minute, have a little breath, mate.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. I'm tearing up. You're tearing. I'm not crying. You're crying. Oh, that is just a wonderful, wonderful moment. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It wasn't his first win of the season. Of course, that's just me getting super excited looking down the wrong line on the stats. It was his third win of the season. Isaac won the first round at Nice and P3 in the second round. He then won the first round at Hollis. He was P2. Must have been, you retired, I think, in the semi, didn't you, in Hollis, in
Yes.
semi-final one, got a P6 there, and then the DQ in Oulu. So, hang on a minute. Robert, have we got time for a chat? Yeah, we do. Good. So, the disqualification in Oulu,
Yeah.
it was just a racing incident. I get it. They've got to make a decision. But then you come... How are you feeling in the gap between coming here and then knowing that you were coming here to fight for the title on completely equal terms? How was that?
Yeah, I would say it. This was more what I would like than to be in front or behind.
Really?
Yeah, all equal.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. And I must say I couldn't have two better competitors.
Yeah.
Jimmy and Patrick is just awesome. We have been driving so close all season and not a single discussion outside the track.
Yeah, you've not had to go to
Yeah.
a tent and say sorry, have someone come say
exactly.
sorry, or anyone get...
It's always clean racing and fun racing, so big up to them.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just been, for me, we've loved it, haven't we, Hal? It's watching you guys out there, the car control, and you looked so on top of your car, Leon. You were riding across the dirt on the outside, it just looked lit.
Yeah, it did. I really felt that the mechanics worked so hard this night. They were finished with the engine 4 o'clock this morning. We just took it out and tear it apart. I was struggling a lot with gearbox yesterday.
Yeah, you had clutch issue, didn't you?
Yeah, clutch issue as well. So big up to them as well. I want to thank my sponsors, my parents, everyone. And as I said, also would like to thank Patrick and Jimmy to be such a good sport. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, mate, well done, and congratulations to you, to the team, to the guys who stayed up till 4 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
Just looking back to see, the start of the weekend was tough, wasn't it? And then you had that brilliant win in Q3 and P2 in Q4, and that was absolutely crucial, wasn't it? Patrick, from the back of the grid, just banged in some incredible laps to try to close the gap to you.
Yeah, it was. He was really fast now. I heard. My spotter scream push on the last lap, and then was when I really put the game up. Yeah, so he is really fast. He's a good guy. Yeah. If
you're wondering, you're just seeing pictures, by the way, of Jan Kristoffersen with his kids in the paddock there. So I give it 10 years, and they'll be the ones breaking the records. By then, he's going to be in like the World Championship or Nitro or something. You know, those kids will be going, "Dad was not as good as us." I mean, it's just, what a brilliant sport. Aren't we lucky?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. How old are you?
17.
You can't really have a beer,
No, can't
speaking.
really have a beer, no.
No, okay. Well, yeah, we won't take that any further. I mean, it's up to the team and your parents, isn't it, really, whether or not... You can have a Coca-Cola with Simon Tiger. He likes a Coca-Cola at the end of the week.
Maybe. A new race coming up, so...
Yeah, when?
Hollies.
Okay, so what
RX2.
You're going... Okay, so... This is a good way to go into that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. This really felt good.
So is it your four-wheel drive debut, RX2E?
It is.
Okay, so how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it will be fun. I really love the challenge. I think we're going to test it on Tuesday, so we will know more then.
Okay, and Hollius was good to you, wasn't it, this year? I think you qualified first at the first of the 2 rounds.
I really love that track, so it will be fun.
You got to go stick it to the World Championship guys now. So where next? I mean, what is so difficult, isn't it, to raise the budget to go to different levels? Would you like to continue with CrossCar? What would you like to do next year?
As I always said, my passion is in rally. This year was actually supposed to do a full rally campaign, but due to COVID and things like that, we weren't. It wasn't possible to race there.
Yeah.
So after some good discussions with Joel and we got a good plan for this year, we chose CrossCart instead.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy for that. The development from my part this year has been just awesome. It's so tight always. It's really good. So, yeah.
And now you're looking to rally for the future.
Yeah, I am.
Handy that Joel's got a rally car in the workshop back in Chile.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, we'll see.
Do you have an idea of what you'd like to do? I mean, obviously everyone wants to get a WRC car and do the whole WRC, but let's get realistic. Like, where have you done any rally at all?
Yeah, I have. We have a VW Polo, a small one. Yeah. Not R5, of course. So.
WRC. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been driving 4 or 5 rallies with that one.
Yeah.
With actually my spotter as a co-driver.
Yeah,
so that's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So often you see the likes of Pastrana with Rhiannon Gelsomino, and I always think, Rhiannon surely did the spotting, but as a general, David Higgins used to use Craig Drew sometimes as spotter. But so you've got a great relationship there of the pressure thing. But I think that I used to rally, and my favourite thing about it was sharing the experience with somebody else. So I've spoken to you about this, Hal, because Hal's got a half-built rally car along with a half-built rally cross car, and it's the thing of sharing it with someone. Like when you get the results, it feels like a shared result. When you make the mistake, it's like, oof, wow, that was close.
Yeah.
So it will be good fun, won't it?
Yeah, it will be good fun. Growing up at home in Torsby, where a WRC event goes, and seeing all the rally cars there is really, it's the main thing why I like it. So.
You've done gravel or snow so far? What have you been?
Only gravel, but testing on snow. So.
Yeah, okay. What are we waiting for? Are we getting ready for Swedish finals? Are we going to see some Swedish action now? We are going to see some Swedish action. Right, well, this is going to be interesting. Stick around, please, Isaac, for a minute, because this is going to be fun, isn't it, Hal?
Yeah, of course. Rallycross.
The reason it's going to be fun is we haven't got a clue who anyone is, because we've been pretty busy during the course of the weekend. So we're just going to we're going to get stuck into it anyway and see what's going. Do you want to go back and see the team?
Yeah.
Go on. See you later.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Well done, mate. Absolutely fantastic. That win, mate. We're going to see the Swedish finals. Forgive us, we'll follow it. This is the junior finals. This is up to 2,150cc junior category. Age group? Not sure. Young. I say we're seeing this because they're in the middle of our categories here, basically to allow the track to get cleaned, etc. And we don't want to leave you guys with 15 minutes of slow motion pictures. So you can join us a little look. I just.
So Hellstrom in the lead here is already the champion in this category. So like we're going to see in Supercar later on, there isn't a title to fight for, but of course you want to do as well as you can in the last race of the year. Already got a good margin at the front, Oscar Hellstrom as well. But yeah, I think only fair for us to let Isaac Rierson go and celebrate with his team. He was welling up a little bit there, wasn't he?
It was lovely when he was. Like I said, so was I.
And we're so lucky in this championship that we can get the guys straight into the studio.
The second he left with the team, when he walked through the door, I was like, who are we going to talk to? Because I figured he was still at the podium and that we'd do a cans interview, stick the cans on him and talk to him. And that was just brilliant. How good as well to be, because normally we can talk to him but we can't show him stuff. And I love the fact that tonight he'd probably gone back to the tent, done a few bits, then someone will have gone, do you want to watch it back? And he'll have watched it back and gone, wow, that was gross. I love the fact say I thought it was more than that, didn't he? But also how what brilliant respect for his fellow competitors. Like he said, there hasn't been not one word said outside of the racing, like, you shouldn't have done that, mate.
Yeah, and by that he means there's been no need for words.
Yeah, no need. So it goes one of two ways. Either you go and have a go at someone, or you go and apologise to someone, whichever way it goes.
Or you appeal against them when it gets even more messy.
Yeah. You send a strongly worded WhatsApp in COVID times, don't you, to the stewards. But, just brilliant. Seeing his mum like that as well. What a moment. What a brilliant moment. So, Philip Martinson leads by 1.6 seconds from Oscar Hellstrom, who's the champion, and Alexander Jeppesen is in P3. A lot more tyre squeal here, Hal, than we're used to hearing, isn't it? But then that's probably due to the fact that the cars are somewhat more limited. I suspect they're not running on the ultra-high-spec Cooper tyres either.
They're pretty, they're not, no, you're correct there. They're pretty powerful though, 2150cc, the junior category in Swedish Championship. That's the same as the senior category, but it's just the age gap that's different. So Clara Anderson just missed out on the title in this class last year, and she's just wrapped up the title in the senior class. We'll see her do the final in a minute. So great that they can drive the same vehicle. It's a bit like CrossCar, where the the cars are a bit more restricted, but in CrossCar the juniors are a bit more restricted, but they're very similar to the senior cars. Here they're the same cars, but it's just about the age range.
So there are a wonderful, if you've been with us all weekend, you'll know that the best thing with our guests, most of our guests are, as I say, houses are incredibly lucky. Supercar drivers, Supercar Lites drivers, aren't they? And then you've got them coming in here and basically saying their favourite car is an M3 or Urban Bergstrom's station wagon. And you can just see, I think, with the SM class, which is Swedish Championship, by the way, is what Robert said to me yesterday what the M was, and then it means Championship. And yeah, just the diversity of this class. It's a bit more like open two-wheel drive.
Yeah, I mean, this is what open two-wheel drive is based on, this concept of supernational categories. And it's about giving, of course it helps with the entry for the Nordic events, not that it's needed this year because it's been, well in my opinion anyway, because we had great racing and good entries across the classes, but brilliant to have open two-wheel drive, which is an amalgamation of all the supernational categories. There's some more emotional support in the stand for you to get emotional about, Andrew. It's brilliant that the cameramen are so observant as Philip Martinson takes the victory in this junior supernational final.
It's such a little family sport.
The cameramen are great at picking out all these people.
They are. Not easy either. You have to know who they are. It just goes to show you that we've had the same crew at most of these events, and they're pretty well involved with it. That's our champion, Hellstrom.
Dropped to third by the end of the race.
Oscar Hellstrom, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
No, I think there's a point, isn't there, where you go, I'm all right with that, it's fine.
I think led through the first corner when we were saying goodbye to Isaac Rearson. Great launch.
I think there's donuts going on outside, Hal, from the noises I'm hearing.
I'd quite like to see them. I don't know if I said on air or not in open two-wheel drive. I would be very disappointed if we don't see at least some footage of some donuts.
Yeah. I could do with a donut, to be honest, like an actual donut. Bit of a sugar hit, you know. I'm feeling worn out and emotional already, and we've got another few races to go. It's hard to explain, isn't it? But I just think when you know how much time and effort and money they put in, and how many things they've given up for it, how many times they've done a late night, how many times they've stayed in a rubbish hotel or camped somewhere just because it was what they could afford, or slept in the back of the van. And of course it varies. You know, some people helicopter in and out, not in Nordic, and stay in lovely hotels, you know, World Championship occasionally. But yeah, it's a big commitment to win any championship. And I think when you see the lower level stuff and you see the involvement of the families and you see the reaction of the parents and stuff, it's just pretty special. It's pretty
massive
special.
investment, isn't it, in emotional investment as much as anything.
Or it's more, isn't it? Because your whole life rotates around it, and that's parents, you know, giving up time to take their kids around all the various different racetracks. Oscar Hellstrom wins from Philip Martinson, and Alexander Jepsen are your championship top three in junior SM. Well done to them. As Hal said, they've had a year of racing. We're now looking at our next category, which is SM 2150. So again, why 2.15 litre? Is that just to allow? I wonder if that just allowed a certain engine in, or no idea.
I'm not actually sure, but it'll be something to do with the size of Volvo engine that was available at the time.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, either that, or it's like people are going to wear engines out. We'll go with 2 litre and
it's been like that for years.
Yeah, bore it out over the years. Yeah. Good start from the pole for Clara Hansen, moves across to the inside line now. Nicely done, champion already.
She's absolutely smashed it this weekend. Fastest in, contact with the barrier in the background. Yeah, Clara Anderson smashed it this weekend. Fastest in the opening 3 qualifiers.
Get stuck
contact in the back. Sebastian Eriksson suggested that these 3 finals might cost the event a little bit of time. Yesterday morning, because normally this is the end of, it's a bit mad, isn't it? End of the season in mid-August.
Yeah.
You've got a long time to get stuff sorted, and of course there's a bit of desperation to get a good result to go into the off-season with. And there'll be other events people can do over the course of the year.
So Clara, course, Magda Andersson, her sister, if you're wondering.
Yeah.
Does Magda compete anymore or
No,
not?
she doesn't.
Yeah, so Magda did touring car, didn't she, and Supercar, I think.
Supercar with Michael Motorsport and then with DA Racing.
Yeah, and fantastic. But, you know, there comes a point where you say, OK, enough's enough. So now we've got Clara coming through. I almost think Clara's got more options now maybe than Magda would have had back then. But you've got to be on the radar. And it's whether or not she can get herself on the radar, the likes of things like Extreme E teams, who are now pretty desperately looking for quick women drivers, because they're making the difference. That, you know, that's what most of the teams are saying. There's a lot of quick guys out there. Everybody knows that. You've got things like W Series. I suspect she won't want to go that way. I wonder if anybody looking after Clara might be on the phone, or at least the email to some of the Extreme E teams and go, look, come on, you know, maybe a one-off. Let's have a try and see. All the quick women at the minute are coming from the loose surface or the rallycross background.
She's done amazingly this weekend to work under pressure. She's very good at social media.
Yeah.
She knows the value in all the stuff that comes outside of the car, and obviously is very quick inside the car. She's enjoyed racing in the senior class this year.
Esports as well.
She's well involved with esports, drives with the Set Esports team, so she's teammates with Tommy Holman as part of Set Esports. You know, in the Set Esports team is run by Set Promotion, so she's got good links with Jussi Pinnamaki and the Gronholm squad. Now, that's not to say that she's involved at all, but she's already forging those links, and you never ever know when they might be useful. Yeah. And as Extreme E progresses, I'm sure some of those teams are going to be looking at young drivers to bring on in the future. And you've got to put yourself out there, haven't you? I think she's doing a really solid job. You can't do anything overnight.
No, you'd go with her, you know, if she could get a job as reserve driver with one of the Extreme E teams, look at the likes of you know, various drivers who have to miss rounds here and there. I think we'll see that later on in the season. You're going to see people step in. I mean, Kevin Hansen, of course, has already stepped in for Jensen Button, but it's I just think there's a big call for fast women in that. So yeah, maybe some more options for her. I'd be really interested to see where she goes. Of course, we'd all love to. Yeah, I'm actually I'm disappointed to lose Isaac Grierson.
Yeah, me too, massively.
Like, you know, he wants to go and do rally, but I also respect the fact I want to do rally. That's the
He's
dream.
just best mates of Oliver Solberg, isn't he? So it was probably always going to happen.
Go for it.
Yeah, brilliant. And of course, I wish him all the best. But I would love to see him in a Lites car or in a Supercar. We're going to see him next weekend in RX2E. He knows that circuit well. The level in RX2E next weekend is going to be high. We've got Linus Austin, Niels Anderson, a lot of the quick guys from the Nordic and SM package going there. And that'll give them all a bit of an insight into
electric,
where motorsport is heading in alternative energies.
And they're the right age for that as well.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be thinking of, you know, if manufacturers come back with electric, can I get a pro drive? Can I get paid? Where can I be? So I think that experience will be pretty crucial for them. So Clara Andersson is leading the Swedish final here for up to 2 150cc. She is the champion already of this category. She's going to come around and cross the line, take the flag, finish her season with a win and the championship. Brilliant job by her. Applause in the crowd. If you're wondering why you're watching this at home, if you're watching RallyX Nordic, it is because these races have to fit here in the schedule to make the weekend work, because it's been... how many races this weekend? I don't know. I know our director will know because he's had to direct them all. So he'll tell me in a minute, I'm sure. But basically, we're squeezing these into the stream to allow... We're on, it's SVT1 in Sweden, so the Swedish commentators are here covering it, and they're seeing both championships, so they need to see the semis and the finals, plus the finals for SM, so you're getting an extra bit of bonus rallycross at home. Me and Hal are having a little bit of a season roundup during it.
Yeah, they're taking this live on SVT, aren't they, as a broadcast? So, yeah.
Why can't we get that in the UK, eh?
Imagine turning on the television on a Sunday afternoon and seeing
BBC One on like the old
British rallycross.
Grandstand, yeah, like a bit of rallycross and the rallycross Grand Prix. Bring back Brands Hatch, Jonathan Palmer. What do you think you're doing? Best thing you could possibly do. That was a wonderful circuit, Brands Hatch, but most of the rallycross track is still there. And I won't take some new layout. It's got to be Hoppy's drop back down the back straight through the back of the pits. I don't care that affects the pit lane and all the exit roads. I don't care. Bring it back. Do you agree, Hal?
Yeah, might spoil the grass.
I don't care.
Nor do
you can
I.
roll AstroTurf over the top of the grass on the weekends you're not using it. I think most, unfortunately, where they've extended the runoff area down at Graham Hill Bend, that's affected what was the gravel run down, tumble down hill after turn 1. Clara Anderson, look, winning the championship by 14 points from Erno Antikainen and August Krokstrom in P3. So well done, Clara. Good effort.
The top 3 finishes in the final here today as well. What a way to seal the championship. Almost a clean sweep. Only didn't set the fastest time in Q4, but other than that, fastest in 3 qualifiers, won the semi and smashed it in the final.
She's got Clara to come and have a word, really, shouldn't we, like Isaac? But she's very, very media savvy. But yeah, well done. Brilliant. Should we buy Brands Hatch instead of building our own circuit? I want to know whose money we're going to use.
Well, maybe we set up the driver agency first.
Yes.
We can sell some of those drivers.
Sell our drivers, like,
and then buy
big
a track.
money, buy a track. Brands Hatch would be good for me, not so good for you in terms of where you live. You'll have to get a helicopter.
Yeah, well, if we buy and sell enough drivers, I can buy a helicopter as well. Then that's solved.
Okay, sweet. Then we can stop having to do 4.5-hour drives from the airport to here, can't we? We'd come over by helicopter, won't we, next year?
Take a while, wouldn't it? I've flown from Helios back to home by helicopter.
That's amazing.
Took a while.
I love that. It'll take me a while to head back to the airport tonight. I've got a very early flight tomorrow. Hal's staying out here for the World Championship next weekend. Best of luck with that, mate. Did a brilliant job down in Spain. Right, this is our final for SM. This is the up to 2.4 litre. Per Berglund, Dennis Fagergren, Petter Nasha, Jansen, Nicholas Hardwick, Nordström, Rasmus Olsen in this one.
Spin in the background for Nasser, probably absolutely crucified the pronunciation of that name in the opening corner. These are the big boys of Supernational in Europe, really. 2400 cc, and yeah, of course, all sorts of domestic championships in the UK, in the middle of Europe, down in the south, in Italy and France have their own versions of Supernational and 2-wheel drive classes, but these guys really are special with their rear-wheel drive machines.
Interesting choices of chassis as well, Hal.
Yeah, different. I love to see different cars.
Seeing the Subaru's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, somewhat easier to convert to rear-wheel drive when you've already got a transmission tunnel and all the rest of it.
Largely depends what engine you run, though.
Yeah, true. Don't even know if it's longitudinal or not.
I mean, the tunnel is the least of the problems when you're trying to make a rear-wheel drive car. There's so like you wouldn't believe as a newcomer to watching this. Oh, and a big gone very wide and rolled the leader Berglund on the outside of the right-hander after the jump. I wonder if that's going to be a red flag, Andrew, because that was quite a big impact.
Berglund, yeah, has gone off, and now Jim Jansen is leading. I guess it depends whether or not they're going to get out of the car. It wasn't a big impact, Hal, was it? It's obviously it's a big roll, and I'm sure it's a mess, but it's not. We'd like to think that everything will be okay. Yeah, he's out of the car. Across the track now. You've got the at least the Armco here's got gaps in it, so you can climb it like a ladder and get over the other side. He will want to get over the other side fairly swiftly.
If you're going to drop it, you may as well drop it from the lead and know you should and could have won, rather than dropping it when you're
P6
at the back.
Yeah. Might get a look here at where the car is at the side of the track in a minute when these guys come round. The top. So yeah, Fagergren, where is it? There
just
it is.
Round wide, you can see the mark.
Yeah, taking up some of the branding. Look. Love that noise, the transmission chatter on the brakes. Always enjoy that in the background. That's just where everything's sort of chattering about where you've unloaded it from going forward, so that you're now braking hard. Oh. That's got to be, I guess, that's daughter maybe worried about him.
It looked like it. He looked far less bothered than she did.
But how lovely that he's crashed. She's probably crying her eyes out, and he's gone running over the Armco and gone, don't worry, I'm all right. It's just a car, it's fine. That's absolutely lovely. God, we're getting all the feels today, aren't we? We really are. Perhaps it gives you a bit of an understanding as to why me and Hal get so emotionally involved in this sport. That Hal's been involved with for a lot longer than me, but I consider myself extremely lucky to have been involved with for the time that I have. And we go our separate ways from here on in. Hopefully we'll be back together next year for some more RallyX Nordic. Of course, I'm heading across to Nitro Rallycross next, Hal to World Rallycross for the rest of the season. We're both looking forward to working at the top level. And hopefully we'll be back again for some RallyX Nordic next year. I've enjoyed it.
I've loved it. It's been a great season. Massive pleasure to work both with you and the TV team here. It's a small team that work hard to get this done, and there's some great people involved in this championship as well. You know, people that go unnoticed. James Nixon as championship coordinator.
Yeah.
Krista working in race control and doing a brilliant job of keeping the races moving, because there is so much racing on track this weekend, and amazingly they get it all done. There's a lot of people that work incredibly hard to make these championships happen that you just don't see. We get all the, you know, everyone sees us working on the broadcast, but there's a lot of people working very, very hard behind the scenes.
I tell you what, there's a lot of people working a lot longer than we work.
Massively.
You know, we all work hard in our own ways, very, very hard indeed. It's more emotion. But it's, yeah, so a brilliant team of people running both SM. We don't have so much to do, obviously, with the Swedish series as we do with RallyX Nordic. The little TV team we've got here as well. Well done to all you guys. Most of these guys have pulled an all-nighter at some point this year to make something work for you guys at home, whether it's graphics or pictures or whatever it is. She's just spotted the camera and that's the last straw. But it's brilliant. Janssen,
the champion, Jim Janssen.
Go on, get in.
And ending the year with a win and some donuts.
Which is what we wanted to see. Right, I wonder if we get a better look at the roll. You'd probably bet that the drone's got it, but maybe not. I don't know if we're flying the drone quite so much in this as we are in RallyX. I bet we are. Spin in turn one, right out into the dirt on the outside, the gravel.
Of course we are.
Yeah, here we go. It's whether or not they were following, because I think the drone can do about a lap flat out, can't it? And then it has to have another battery. That's full send. Oh, we are, by the way.
It's a bit like you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I feel like I need a battery change after this weekend. I do. Keith Colton, thank you for the full send medals, mate. Yeah, we're definitely going to give one to Vigo, the drone pilot, for being. We said last night he's probably the best driver in the paddock, to be honest. He has to deal with 3 dimensions, not 2. Been wonderful. It adds such a different element to the coverage. Here we go. Straight on, and of course Vigo got it. How dare we question it? He was unlucky there, Hal. Bit of right lock, and I reckon that might have come down. There he is going to see his daughter going, I'm all good. Yeah, the car's a bit bent. We'll sort it out, don't you worry.
I wonder if the steering broke or something on impact there for him to run wide. A strange incident, but he's completely fine. There's Janssen's team, and there are the donuts. Hope the Supercar boys are watching that. Yeah,
come on, get in, lads. Inevitably, someone's going to win who's got to save the differentials for next weekend, haven't they?
Well, Johan hasn't got to save anything.
Come on, Johan. We want donuts. I might WhatsApp him. Go on. Just tell him I want donuts.
Well, after he's crossed the finish line.
I'm going to WhatsApp him now. I genuinely am. Trouble is, I don't think he'll have his phone with him at this point.
I guess they're in pre-grid now. We'll see in a minute.
Right, I'm gonna WhatsApp him now. See what he says. It's not delivering at the minute, Hal. Is that a bad signal, or is it switched off? Jim Janssen, champion from Rasmus Olsen and Per Berglund. Actually won it by a significant margin as well at 40 points. Now it's delivered.
Is it?
Is it? It is. There's some nice little bits gone up on social media. If you want to see some of we've got the ramblings of me and Hal talking about everything from what the birds do in Oulu when it doesn't get dark, through to whether or not Robert can take his plane off from the back of the grid at, where was it, Neeson? Feels like 10 years ago. It's actually not that long at all. What else did we talk about? God, all sorts. We are sorry, but we're kind of sorry, not sorry, really.
There was lots of stuff in Oulu, wasn't there? But we were on air for about 25 hours in a day.
It was long. And well, it felt like there were 24 hours in a day because it never got dark.
25.
Yeah, 25. Yes. Little sweep up there in the background too. Got our champion already, of course, in our next class, which is open two-wheel drive. They've had a good old sweep up there, Hal. There's a load of dirt that's been there for about 3 days. No point in sweeping that up, lads. It's offline. It's always been there. It'll be a long time if they decide, well, should we clean this bit? So have they not noticed it's been there for the last 3 days? It was funny seeing Cabot, wasn't it? Cabot was like, I can't believe they just scooped the car up on one of those big things and just take it away.
Everyone loves those machines the first time they come
Right, we're going to take a look at the championship standings for open two-wheel drive before we get to the final. Simon Tiger crowned the champion, 152 points ahead of Matthias Janssen and Marcus Norman. Morten B. Bertelsen is in fourth. Lars England, Michael Persson. I can't really see who's in the final. Not. Oh, we haven't got the. Yes, we've got the final up. Bertelsen's not there, so that's the top three settled, isn't it?
Yeah, with the additional Swedes that are here this weekend and making the class brilliant to watch. The regulars haven't necessarily had the ultimate pace of those guys and not made it in.
Donuts from Simon Tiger, surely. Oman and Tiger on the front row. You've got Westman and Oman on the second row. Is that a nut gun in the background? Or a fairground ride? They'll be waiting for the scoop to go back, by the way. Emil Oman on pole, by the way, and Thomas Oman on the outside of row 2. But they will be Omans on the way. Ah, there it is. No, it's a crazy supercharger or turbocharger winding up on some insane home-built rear-wheel drive car. How stupid of me. Oman versus Tiger. Tiger's car smoking a lot less than it has, but now the smoke comes. It's going to unleash that horsepower. Can the champion take another win here to round out his title? Oman's got a better start on the inside line. Simon Tiger's lost out a bit there, gets a bit of contact with Westman in behind. Oh, Westman bouncing off the wall. Hits maybe one of the other Omans. It's hard to see with Sunday. Then you see Urban Bergstrom coming in from the back of the pack. Out front, who's leading Simon Tiger's in P2? Yes,
it's Emil Oman leading. It was Thomas Oman that got spun around. Big impact in the wall on the inside. That's exactly what Kevin Eriksson was talking about, getting squeezed onto the inside. Westman, I think, pretty sure broken the steering there with that contact and then fired him back into the pack. This is going to be a great battle up front between Oman and Tiger. Oman's had the pace this weekend. Tiger admitted that, didn't he, after Q4, I think it was, when he set the fastest time. Both won their semi-finals to get on the front row. They're going to have to mix the strategy up.
Going to go with him for now, though, isn't he? Tiger's going to follow for a little while just because he'll want to make sure that he's not joking back into traffic. Hal, I wonder if, you know, some of these guys who are doing this race, obviously they're going to go up against Simon Tiger and they're going to go, you know what, I reckon I could take the open two-wheel drive title. I think this weekend's probably going to be good for the entries in this class next year.
It'd be great if we could have the Oman squad and all the cars that they bring. Of course, they're running cars in the 2400 and the 2150 class in SM as well, but it'd be great if we could have them for a full season. I know there's some Polish guys and there's some Irish guys that I speak to back home who'd love to come and do it. It's just so difficult with travel at the moment, and PCR tests and paperwork and blah blah blah. Hopefully by next year we're away from all of that, and once travel's a little easier, I think this class will be. We've got no real Norwegians, have we, in the category? I think once travel's easier, hopefully we can have a Nordic round back in Norway. And we'll get a lot more Norwegian competitors, and they love two-wheel drive cars in Norway.
Yeah, please open the border, Norway. Me and Hal, 4 or 5 hour drives all the while from Stockholm, where Oslo is literally just over the road, isn't it? I'm not quite.
Not a fan of Arlanda Airport, I must admit. Well, the airport's okay. It's the distance to the hire cars is tedious at best.
Yeah, followed then by a 5 hour drive, which I'm doing on my own tonight. Hal's deserting me. Well, I'm deserting Hal, I suppose, but either way. Oman still in front of Tiger.
Gapping Tiger a little bit, isn't he? But Tiger set the fastest lap for the pair on a 46.5, 46.8 for Oman.
Not enough in it though, is there? Tiger goes Joker. Listen to the noise. Look at the power they deliver. Tiger, to me, coming out the hairpin, Hal, he looks to struggle every time. That's obviously not a good example because he's come out the Joker, but when you see him coming out the tight corner, he lost ground to Oman that last time. That car's got so much power. I guess it's about drivability, how it delivers, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and it does look remarkably drivable. We've said all year, haven't we, how pliable the car looks. Quite soft. It was almost like he's running a wet setup a lot of the time in dry. Oman gets the apex nicely there. Emil Oman, former European supercar driver, very talented. Never quite got the breaks he maybe ought to have done in supercar, and doing a brilliant job here.
Goes into the Joker lap this time round to try and cover off Simon Tiger. Tiger's actually done a really good lap here. Oman's going to have to go in or outside, going to be pushed to the outside. Simon Tiger with great tactics. Can he get this done? That is a brilliant piece of driving, exactly what we were talking about earlier on. Tiger has managed to hold on to the position. They're side by side there. I was actually surprised not to see a yellow flag because the car parked on the outside. But Simon Tiger has done what we said earlier, how forced them to go inside you and be outside you in turn one.
Brilliant job from the Tiger team tactically, and a brilliant lap that he smashed in last time around. Like you say, I'm surprised there was no yellow flag there. I hope anything doesn't come of that, because this battle deserves to just run as it is.
We've got another car off at the end of the straight. So we've got another car off just to the left, somewhere down at the end of the straight here. Oman into the back of Tiger in the hairpin, gives him a little nudge for the final lap. Oman will be hoping to find a better line to the exit. Going to be a drag to the line. Simon Tiger sends it sideways over it. And the champion takes, I think it's his 6th win of the year. Pretty sure we'll see donuts from him. Maybe just some sideways business. It is 6 wins for Simon Tiger, the Open 2-wheel drive champion in that fantastic BMW. Now we get the donuts. That's the horsepower. Smoke it up. Yeah, I know the diff needs rebuilding. It's all good. I've just won the championship. Wonderful stuff. Simon Tiger, 6 wins. It was actually 7, to be honest. Other than the DQ in Oulu, it would have been 7, but it is 6 from 6. His dropped score is that DQ for the contact. We had a brilliant race out there in Finland. He's come across a bit more of a challenge towards the end of the season, and hopefully we'll see a bit more of a challenge for him next year. But a great champion, and Hal, I mean, really, it's an insane performance. The lowest he qualified, I think, was he's second, wasn't he, in Oulu for 1.
I think he's second in Holius, was he, earlier in the year, and second...
sorry, Holius, yeah. Was he second in it? Yeah, no, he qualified first at both the Ulus. It was Holius, yeah, when it was wet.
And second here behind Oman. Yeah.
Just amazing,
Can't
really.
ask for much more than that, can you?
No, yeah, correct. Yeah, so 2 P2s, 4 P1s, sorry, 7 P1s, sorry. Get it right, Andrew. 5 P1s, 2 P2s, and then 6 wins and a DQ. But I mean, just, yeah, unbeatable, really.
And a champion's drive in this final as well. Look at the contact with... Oh, that was a big impact, actually, with
what do we
Oman
think,
on
what
the
do we
outside.
think about it? So Simon moves across.
I mean, he's being...
Westman could have come out of that earlier. But
Yeah,
then,
he could. I always find those moves difficult. You see them a lot at national level, where someone's leaning on the rear quarter, so it's rotating the nose of the car that's slightly ahead in front, and it looks like they're turning in front when they're not. It's just the rotation of the car.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how the inertia's going. It's being looked at by race control. We're hearing in our ears. That's a big impact with the wall, isn't it? I think that is definitely broken.
It won't actually make any difference just if you're wandering at home to the championship. But yeah, they might take a win away, but Simon will still be the champion.
Bergstrom nearly got tied up in that, but took evasive action on the way into the first corner and then didn't really feature.
This is the first of the Jokers. No, sorry, this is
the second of the Jokers.
The second of the Jokers, yeah. Tiger forcing Oman to go a long way. So we're hearing there's no penalty. Westman was too far back, and I think that's fair, Hal, because really he had a headlight up the inside. Yeah, if he'd had the whole front wing up, you could argue, look, Simon, there's nowhere for him to go.
Yeah.
But as we said, he could have backed out of it. Simon Tiger, Open 2-wheel drive as well at the bottom there. They've obviously taken, how have they done? Taken out anyone? No, they haven't. It's just the results, the same result from the top.
But that's the championship standings, isn't it? So Tiger's just pipped Oman to the SM Open 2-wheel drive title, which is what he wanted to do, isn't it? When he spoke to us after Q4 early on, his focus was all on trying to beat Oman.
Absolutely brilliant move then, wasn't it? It really was. Okay. Nearly there. Little flick through the folder of truth again. Crosscar. How good was Crosscar? Best championship finish ever? World Championship was...
If any of these finals are equal to that Crosscar final, then...
It's Fraz.
I'll be staggered.
2 tickets to the gun show. Go on, Fraz, get in.
Needs a car, yeah? Oh, there's some cars.
Dog,
There's
yes,
a dog.
brilliant work. Great work. Gotta have a... That's it, mate. Go on. Have a lie down.
There's a man just here for testing, not bothered about the result.
Except he kept 4 new tyres for the semi-finals. Just touched them there just to check they're awesome, like he thinks they are. Johan Kristoffersen, super chilled, talking to Sander Evjen. Great bloke, fantastic champion. I love the fact he's done this. He didn't have to do this at all. He's competing in the World Championship, he doesn't have to come and do... Of course he wanted to keep his hand in, but this, yeah, it's not a factory car, it's not factory support. They are supported by Volkswagen in Sweden. And of course he remains within the VW Audi group in his efforts in the World Championship in the Audi S1 with JC EKS. So Janssen, can he take his first win after his first TQ? Enland and Howman are going to try and start him as well as the rest of the grid. Good start by Howman's got a rocket start, but I think Janssen's done enough. Howman going to move inside Enland. That's a wise move. McGuinness, McGuinness is up the back there of Enland, and I think that's maybe a bit optimistic. If he cuts into P5, he'd definitely be penalised. He wasn't. He was wise enough to drop into P6, but Janssen ahead of Howman. And is it Anderson in third?
It is, yes, it is Anderson in third. I couldn't quite see in that previous shot. I was too busy looking at the damage on the front of McGuinness's car in that previous shot. Great start from Kasper Janssen to get out front. Even better start from Tommy Holman to stick his nose up the inside. Martin Englund lost out badly there. That's the second on the grid spot we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. I wonder if McGuinness might... I reckon McGuinness will be given a Joker option. And, OK, so
Osland goes.
Yeah, it's good move. I was going to say whoever could Joker, and actually Austin to get in from 5th. You know, normally you'd expect the car in 4th maybe to go, and then it's no good for you. You want to go early and give yourself plenty of time to get that overlap back again.
Oh, big two-wheel moment there for Nils Anderson. Lost a little bit of ground to the leading pair of Kasper Janssen and Tommy Holman. McGuinness still going is actually going to cause the leaders a bit of a problem in that it just changes the Joker strategy options rather than him having dropped out of contention. Hopefully that bodywork won't go underneath the car and cause him any issues.
Black flag for George McGuinness, I'm afraid, so that will be from turn 1. So that means he's been disqualified from this one. It's a bit of a shame. Eric Farr and Kevin Hansen won't know yet. And I know George's family will be disappointed back at home, but I think everybody's got to remember this is an absolutely outstanding debut for McGuinness. He's blown us all away with his driving and with his attitude as well. And OK, yeah, he didn't go quite right in the final. There you go.
Yeah, he made a mistake in the first corner, had a bit of contact, but you know, great composure to come back on the track, not have further contact. I thought the way he rejoined the circuit was actually very good.
And he also didn't try and rejoin it in front of anyone.
That's what I mean,
you get penalised for that, so you just drop in behind and go, what can I do here? So
learning experience this weekend, and I think he's learned loads, hasn't he? Brilliant job. Back to the race, and Martin Enland jokered last time around. Holman's all over the back of Enland's teammate Kasper Janssen, but Enland's dropped behind Linus Osland, now running 5th and 6th on the road.
I thought Howman might go Joker. He looks up the inside line. The champion Howman is trying to find a pass. Kasper Janssen just about holds on, but he's piling the pressure on here. Howman is doing such a good job. He was really close out. I thought he might go Joker, but I just don't think that option's there. There's just a little bit too much traffic behind. Now Kasper Janssen's really got to try and earn this, because when you got Tommy Howman behind you, I mean, he's lucky, isn't he, that turn 1 goes off to the right, because Howman would have got him otherwise.
I wonder if Howman's just picked up a puncture. I could be completely wrong, but something flicked up from the rear of the car and we heard a scraping noise, didn't we? I think I am completely wrong, and hopefully I am, because it'll ruin us of a good fight for the lead. But I think McGuinness, who is still going around despite the flat flag, he could easily not know about it, but that's what's causing Howman the issue of needing to stay out because of how close he is. I thought Howman was again he looks to the inside through the last corner. He's much further up the inside than he was last time around, but Kasper Janssen's able to carry the momentum and Howman isn't able to get it done.
There is something rubbing somewhere. We can hear that unless it's just a lot of transmission noise. We've got great microphones up close to the track. Kasper Janssen is doing an absolutely brilliant job here, Hal.
Of course, he's spent 8 years in karting before he came to Supercar Lites, so he's well used to the racing environment, well used to having to defend under big pressure now from Tommy Holman, as he has been all along.
For a second I thought it was Janssen, but it's not. So, final lap, Janssen and Howman are going to go in together. Osland is down in P5. How far back is Osland? Osland is 3.8 back. It shouldn't be too close. Kasper Janssen gets on the brakes early, going to rotate the car, going to come around the final corner. Howman's going to try and out-drag him, but Janssen takes his first TQ semi-final win and a win here in Arvika to round out a wonderful debut season. What a brilliant drive by Kasper Janssen. Applause from a very knowledgeable crowd up in the spotters area.
Applause from Sandra Holgren and the the Olofsson team. They know how hard it is to win at this level. Not often you see perfectly executed donuts in a Lites car because the Cooper tyres have got so much grip, but that is a brilliant execution.
We're loving Casper Janssen. We're signing him, don't forget. If there's anybody out there, he's signed to the Coley Ridge. Yeah, it's keep away. Look at the start. So Howman gets a great start, but he's moved. Casper Janssen's moved out just enough immediately to stop himself being squeezed against the barrier, which is great. Now McGuinness comes in, and McGuinness he tries to cut to the inside, but Nils is already there and he's got nowhere to go, so he just has to drive up the back, and that's what the black flag's for. They're just saying that's too aggressive, aren't they? But it's not. It's just
it's a scrum into the first corner. Anderson's on the inside. Let's hope this will be a much better angle of that, I think. Yeah, so he's moved to the inside. He could easily have not realised that Anderson's there.
That's what I was wondering. Is if
Enlund's on the brakes again, because Enlund's trying to get on the brakes and cut back on the inside of Holman.
I think actually, yes, Enlund, as you say, Enlund thinks he's going to get in behind Howman, doesn't he, and shuts the door on McGuinness. So I think McGuinness is actually unlucky to get a black flag there.
So do I, yeah.
I get it looks really aggressive from the outside, but really it's not.
So watch the brake lights.
He gets a nudge from behind there, Hal, as well. Watch for Enlund. This is what Hal's saying. Brake lights are on because Enlund wants to get in behind Howman, and so does. Yeah, and then in fact, look, Anderson's in there, and really, it's not Anderson's fault either. As you say, it's just a bum fight.
It is.
I'm not sure that's a black flag, personally.
I'm impressed by the rejoin here, because he could easily have sideswiped Linus Osland.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He waits.
Yeah.
Well done, George. It's a great debut weekend. What do you think of the black flag, Hal? Krista will be watching, won't he?
Well, as we've been talking to Krista, you know, it's wonderful that there's quick decisions, and sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it goes against.
And what the drivers all say is that Krista is consistent, and so there you go. Krista does a great job in race control. We all know that. They're saying Enlund excluded. Is that right? McGuinness in P5?
No, the timing screen says McGuinness.
Yeah, okay, so it's McGuinness excluded. It doesn't matter. Look, I think what's important here is Tommy Howard is the champion and comes P2 with an incredible performance. There he is, championship. Oh. We had an amazing... Casper Janssen, look, he's up to P6.
So
Nils Anderson...
by Linus beating Martin... Osland to Enlund in the last final of the year. Linus takes third overall. I know Linus had higher aspirations than that coming into the season, but they're tied on points, and the last round is where your overall position finish in the last round is what dictates it. So Osland takes third.
So Osland's fourth place here, ahead of Martin Enlund's fifth, even though they're equal on points, is basically what decides between the championship.
It is, yeah, and. The first win of the season I think first Lites win for the Enlund squad at this level. Well done to them. And now it's the final Supercar Final of the 2021 season.
Last race of the 2021 RallyX Nordic season. The title's been won by this man already. Another trophy to go in what is a substantial cabinet. His dad's got a substantial trophy cabinet as well. Lovely family. This is a proper family-run effort. Of course, it was family-run in the World Championship last year with the factory car. This time round, it's the family car with the family outfit racing at home. Their home circuit yard lives 10 minutes up the road. Next to him is Fraser McConnell fighting for P2 in the standings from Sondre Evjen, who's at the back of the grid. You can't look away from Ericsson and Eid either for a win. McConnell starting the season with a win. Can he get one here? Brilliant start by Christopher Fraser. McConnell's equalled him though off the line. McConnell not going to be able to get the inside line. Enzo Eid is there, right on the tailgate of his World Championship teammate. Eid going to be alongside. McConnell's going to get the move here, I think, in the left-hander. He does. Up the inside line, Markland makes the move. Markland's ripped the whole of the front end off his car, but he's managed to get P3 in the process. Kevin Ericsson's gone back down into P5, and Sondre Evjen is at the back.
Brilliant car positioning from Anton Markland through the first couple of corners. Very careful on the inside, running at the back of the pack, inside to outside. Lost all the body weight, reminiscent to when his Polo disintegrated on the jumper Julius a few years ago in the World Championship. But a great start for Anton Markland. Johan Kristoffersson.
He's going to go Joker. Hal in the background. I think Enzo Eid's gone Joker. Fraser McConnell is going with Kristoffersson. He has, yes. So Enzo Eid's gone Joker. Sondre Evjen's gone with him. Evjen then needs to make up some places. So I think at the moment Fraz might just edge it, but I'm not quite sure on the point standings, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure right at this moment. Big push from Anton Markland. Kevin Ericsson, not exactly where he wants to be. Enzo Eads got some damage as well. He's obviously been in some contact somewhere, but Enzo's not far behind Kevin. What was the gap last time?
Not enough.
Enzo's still in contention for a podium here, isn't he? And he was desperate to take a trophy home for his little boy from this weekend, and he's still in that fight now, isn't he?
He had a P4 back in Oulu, Enzo did. Been a rough season for him. 3 points between Fraser McConnell and Evsham. We're hearing it at the minute. It would be enough then for McConnell to take second place in the standings. Nobody can beat Johan Kristoffersson in those standings at the minute. It's looking like nobody can beat him here on track, but Fraser McConnell won't mind another little lesson from a world champion in terms of following him and seeing what he gets up to. He'd rather be in front. He was in front earlier on this year. Took that first win of the year at Nice in Denmark. Kristoffersson gets that car nicely turned in. Fraz's driving has improved in every session today, Hal, over the weekend.
His driving improved immeasurably over the last couple of years, hasn't it? Took a first win earlier in the season.
He's a proper contender now.
He is a proper contender. But Kristoffersson always has a little bit more to turn up come the semi-finals and finals, doesn't he?
Kristoffersson's the best rallycross driver in the world. Fight me if you disagree. The numbers say it, and that's what it is at the minute. It doesn't always go his own way. There's other ones who can equally get the results, but to get the sheer number that he has against the opponents that he has.
But it's not about the numbers either, is it? Yes, of course the numbers make it statistically that to be the case, but it's the way he goes about it, the way he executes every single time. He can have massive issues and still fight back from adversity, and that's, of course the numbers make a big difference, but it's all about the way he goes about it too, as we well know.
2 laps to go. What's McConnell going to do? Is he going to split the strategy? He might as well, and that will give him a little bit more exit speed. So McConnell going to come through, everybody joking behind except for Enzo Eid. Eid is going to come out and doesn't get the Markland position. So Enzo Eid, I think, is going to be just off the podium. Anton Mark with the whole of the front end ripped off the car, but brilliant performance by him as well, and promising for his Euro efforts next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Hasn't done too much damage to the car so far, so the team will be pleased about that. Meanwhile, Johan Kristoffersson hasn't got any such worries. The car's immaculate, and he's on a mission like he always is.
Johan Kristoffersson has already taken the title. He's about to take his 3rd win of the year by a massive margin. It's almost like he's turned it up just at the end to go, I can if I need to. Kristoffersson, the 2021 Supercar champion, takes the win. Fraser McConnell in P2 will move to P2 in the standings, and Anton Markland gets 3rd. Sondre Evjen coming across the line down in P6, and unfortunately I think that's going to cost him P2, but he'd be very pleased to be up in P3. Nicholas Grolom drops down, and yes, it is donuts from Johan in the polo, round in a big circle. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, Johan replied to my WhatsApp. I can't read you the first couple of words, but he said, I didn't think about that, but yes. So basically, thank you to us, thank you to Johan. Go on, Anton. I'm surprised he's doing that when he's using it in Euros next week. Maybe the diff rebuild was on the cards anyway. Did we see him from Fraz as well? Was it donuts?
We did, yeah. Fraz
yeah.
also smashed the donuts out.
All the donuts. All the donuts.
It was actually quite a tame final in the end to round out the season, wasn't it? Fraser made a good start, and he almost made such a good start that it left him with nowhere to go. Tried to go for the outside, as he did so well earlier in the day. Watch Anton Markland on the back row. So Anton makes a good start, doesn't he? Enzo makes a normal start, but nowhere to go. Anton jumps on the brakes there in the background as Kevin Eriksson's sending it round the outside of the entire pack, but Anton's already in the back. Anton gives Enzo quite a shove in the middle of the corner, right on the apex. Fraser's still hanging around the outside of Enzo Eid. Meanwhile, Kristoffersson's up front. Little bit of side-to-side contact between Markland and Eid. All the front bodywork of the polo disappearing underneath as he gets onto the back of Fraser McConnell. Let's watch that again. Anton makes a great start. Evjen doesn't make a brilliant launch. Watch, hard on the brakes. Tucks back inside. Kevin Eriksson's the guy in no man's land here because he hasn't got the run around the outside, and then Anton's come firing up the inside. Sondre Evjen's having a little look as well. Then Anton gets great drive out of the corner and goes to the left of Enzo. Enzo gives up that position. Yeah. Enzo's a clean driver, isn't he, generally? He gave up that position fairly.
I think coming from the circuit racing background helps with that as well. You're doing a long GT race. There's not a lot of point in getting stuck right in. It just means a visit to the pits. And you get the respect of your competitors there. Enzo earlier on this year had to show some mettle, didn't he? And let everyone know he wasn't going to be a pushover. And I love the fact he did that as well. But Johan Kristoffersson with his 3rd win of the year, a home win. Love it. Absolutely love it. So cool. We've had some great chats with Tommy and with Johan as well. Kristoffersson with the donuts. I don't know who you've got to thank for that. I mean, I love the fact that he replied, I didn't think of that. Probably not. Don't think Volkswagen Motorsport allowed them to do donuts, did they? Because it was all to do with then you'd lose the data from the diffs and the tyres and all the rest of it. But yeah, Kristoffersson wins from McConnell and Anton Markland. And that actually gives you, at the bottom there, you've got the Swedish Championship. So that's Kristoffersson, McConnell, Markland. Is that here or is that overall? I'm not sure Markland's done enough to be in that position.
because the Swedish rounds are only taken from the Swedish event.
Of course. So yes, it's Hollis and this one. Yeah, so Markland gets P3 on those standings. And there are your supercar standings for Nordic, Kristoffersson, McConnell and Ershen. Niklas Gronholm, shout out to Gronholm because 3 wins. Though he did come in with the full World Championship spec car, you still got to get the job done. And that's a pretty epic performance, really, when he only did 4 rounds.
And that drive in the final is what got McConnell second. He only beaten Sondra by a point.
Yeah. Through the course, actually, the Q4 job to get up and
he's been great today. Really. I think
really good.
I think he's been the best supercar performance I've seen from Fraser has been this weekend.
There you go. That's how we're calling it. That's how we're calling it. Wonderful. Oh, I can't believe we're done. Can't believe we're done, but there we are. We are. Right, we've got a couple of guests in the studio that we're going to have a chat with in just a moment. There they are. Marvellous. So from left to right, on your screen, that is, Tommy Howman. There we go. I like that. Look at Tommy's calling. That's so good. Yo. So Tommy, of course, is our light champion. Simon Tiger, you legend, Simon. Brilliant job by him. How rich. Andrew Coley. Vigo's up the back there. Vigo, full send medal. It's for you. Here you go. Come on. You've got to have one of those. Okay, the bloke who made the medal said you deserve it, and we think you deserve it as well. We'll see if we've got time to get Vigo in a minute. Well done, mate. Your work's been amazing. That's Vigo, the drone pilot, by the way. I feel like it's the end of school, Hal. If we had a few beers, I'd have one. Unfortunately, I've got a 4-hour drive to the airport, so that's not going to happen. So let's have a chat with our champions instead. Simon, we'll start with you. Are you pleased to have won the title here?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And have you been racing against your dad this weekend? Been good fun?
Yeah, he has a little less power than me, so...
Okay, is that a good thing? Yeah, you've got to beat Dad.
Yeah, of course.
There was a lot of smoke from the back of your car at the start. Have you had an issue you've been dealing with?
It's when I'm launching.
Okay, so it's just launch and it's okay. All right, cool.
No problem.
What? No problem. Now, what about the races with Oman this weekend? Oman was quick, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was real quick, especially in the wet.
Yeah.
When it's dry, I can take him, but in the wet, I have no chance. Not right now. I haven't tested in rain, anything. Okay,
that's what I was going to ask you. So you've been and done Nordic this year. You've won the Open Two-Wheel Drive Championship. First year we've run it, which is an amazing... And by the way, what was it? Was it 6 wins, I think, and then the one from Finland, which we'll just forget about?
Yeah.
A brilliant performance. Will you come back next year?
Of course.
Okay, so obviously you know where your weaknesses are. So what would you say, launches and the rain maybe?
Yeah.
So will you try to work on that?
Yeah, I will test a lot in the spring.
Yeah. Yeah, winter won't be much good, will it?
No. Yeah, maybe with some rally tires.
Yeah, okay, cool. Congratulations, it's brilliant. And so everyone's loving your car. There's a queue about a mile long to drive Simon's car. So well done, mate. Great job.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Tommy, well done.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Quite okay. A bit disappointed with the second place by losing such a tight margin, but I haven't got the second place this season yet, so fun to take one as well.
Does that mean you've got the full set? I think it does, doesn't it? You've got a few wins, a couple of seconds, and we've got 4 wins, two thirds, and now we've got a second. So at least, So that's good. That's fine.
It's okay.
Casper was good today, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think I didn't match his pace in the qualifyings, but now I was really close in the final, but didn't really get the chance to go really to try to overtake. I was close, but not really close enough.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Hal, you've worked with Tommy before. He's quite okay, isn't he?
Quite okay, yeah. I mean, just trying to sum up how this season's been for you. Such a massive effort to even get to the first round. You called it the hardest week of your life to get to Neeson. Obviously, you've taken the car from set, but they haven't been running it. Jussi's always available to talk to, but really this is a family effort with satellite support from set, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really good season all the time on the podium, so can't be really disappointed with that. And I have to say huge thanks to my team, my family and everything who has been helping me through the season, and it's been really nice. And obviously my partners as well, every one of them are important, so really big thanks to them.
Perfect. I think someone's just brought in Coca-Colas for, mainly for Simon Tiger, isn't it? Here we go, let's give Simon a Coca-Cola. He does enjoy it. Do you want a Coca-Cola?
Of course.
All the Coca-Colas, I love it. Fantastic. What's next?
Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, well, ideally, Supercar, Nitro, World RX. I mean, what would you like to do? I know the problem is more likely the money, I guess.
Yeah, it's really unlikely to get into the supercars, but maybe, hopefully, something in the RX2 or the RX2E. I don't know, but everything is so expensive that it's really difficult to get the budget. But obviously, we are trying very hard to compete somewhere next year also.
Okay. Would you consider coming back? Is that a title? Would you do it again, or do you want to try and move on and up?
Ideally, I would want to go up because there's nothing really to gain anymore, as I've already
totally
won it. But we'll see all the options and think about that as well.
All right. Congratulations. What are you doing tonight? Is it party time?
Probably just get the tents back in the van and go back home.
Proper family team. Ladies and gentlemen, you can be upstanding at home and give a round of applause to two of our brilliant champions, Simon Tiger and Tommy Hammond. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to swap you out for another champion if we can. Where is he? Sitting on the floor over there. He's a giant of a man. We'll bring him in and show you who it is in just a moment. There's Simon Tiger. Simon did some donuts and come on in. Next guest. It can be a surprise for you all at home. Simon's donuts were very good indeed. I imagine there's going to be a lot of work needed to be done on differentials and things there. There we are. There's donuts for Fraser McConnell. And Johan Kristoffersen did some donuts as well. Actually lit it up in the polo there. Johan's far more interested, of course, in the data than he is in the donuts right now. And he's having a look at the timing screen. And here he is. Hello, mate.
Hello.
Well done. Fantastic. Congratulations. Championship win at home at Arvika. You got 3 world championships, but it's always nice to pick up another trophy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've been winning Swedish championship in rallycross once before, and that was here last year in Arvika on my home track. And I competed here 13, 14, 20 and 21. So always good to keep that winning streak.
Yeah, awesome. Absolutely. Have you had a fun has it been nice to have your family here? We did see earlier on that you had the kids, didn't you, in the awning?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always nice, I want to spend as much time as possible with them, and as I travel a lot, it's always nice if they can come and be on the race weekend. So even though I don't spend so much time with them on a weekend, but it's still nice to have them there, and being able to get back home every night as well is definitely nice, because from now on there's a 6-week streak of racing.
Yeah, you've got, Hallie's got a very busy time coming up. He's heading with you next week.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why we're talking in commentary. You don't need to be here, do you? You're a professional driver. You've got other drives that you're doing. I know Bauhaus and Volkswagen are behind you to do the Nordic campaign, but you love this sport, don't you? And that's largely why you've done this championship this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's down to Volkswagen Sweden about us that we are actually here, and it's very, very good competition. Training for myself as well, and I mean the competition during the year has been very, very tough. I mean, not to forget that Niklas has been on a few races. He was missing here, but otherwise the other guys also bring up a proper fight during the year. So it's always very important to be in competitive mode, and also this car there is a lot of things going on back and forth, so you really have to squeeze everything out of it, and there is not even one heat which is the same as the other. There's always setup changes going on from heat to heat, and it's also a good experience for me to play around with a little bit with setup, and also learn a lot of things technically, what's going on with the car, because there is sometimes a lot of things going on with the car, so then I have to dig into and understand what's actually going on. So we've changed the engine, we have changed a lot of strategy about how turbo pressure and anti-lag and all this stuff we've changed a lot this weekend. But in the final, it was not too bad.
We're going to get you to wheel the car out again next year for some more. I mean, obviously, next year's a bit up in the air, isn't it? We don't really know what's going on with regard to the World Championship's going electric. You know, we could maybe persuade you to take it to Nitro, or we could do some more Nordic. You obviously like driving it. That goes without saying.
Yeah, definitely. I like to compete as much as possible. It's not that I like to be away from home so much.
No, you just want to smash a rallycross car.
Yeah, of course you want to race as much as possible. And as I always said, since I started very late with motorsport, actually, I started when I was 20 years old. So we always felt like we had to catch up with championships to get me driving more. And that's the philosophy we kept since then, to try to compete in as many championships as possible with different cars and stuff like that to learn and get more experience. So, but we will see next year. Everything is, like you say, normally you know 1 or maybe even 2 years ahead of you what you might do, but now it's very, very tricky at the moment.
COVID's not helped with that either, has it? Been very tricky.
And you've worked with Nils this year a lot more closely than you had done before. How has it been doing the whole Nordic Championship with Nils and the Lites car? You're good friends, aren't you? Good family friends, but to help with his development, he's been quick this year. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I've been working with Nils a couple of years, but I think this year has really been, you know, I would say 100% more tight cooperation in between the race weekends as well. And also, I mean, Nils is driving a car that I can actually drive myself as well. So it's much easier for me to actually help him with some inputs. I mean, he's done some cross kart before, but then it's not the same because I've never done that. So it's difficult for me to give inputs, you know, with setup and so on. But this year we've been working very closely and been on the same race weekends, and you know, discussing setup changes and strategies, and you know, what to think about in this heat and what not to think about, and stuff like that. So I've been to all except 2 of his race weekends this year. And yeah, I hope that it was helpful.
I'm sure. I can't imagine it wasn't helpful having a 3-time World Rallycross champion on your side. Now, Johan, you did some donuts at the end there. Did you have any encouragement for that?
Yeah. The story is actually that I took out my phone from the pocket and was about to put it. So if you guys want to have a phone, by the way, in any rallycross service park, you can just go to any toolbox, take the first drawer out, there will be 5 iPhones at least in every toolbox, because there where all the mechanics keep their phones. So I took it out, and just as I lay down, I saw a message from Andrew Coley, and then he said, "Donuts if you win." And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. So that was if you send it half a second later, I would.
We'd have missed it.
Yeah.
I say to Hal, I'm going to send it now. I'm going to send it now. We were on air at the time. I was like, let's see if we can get him to do it. Yeah. I haven't read your reply.
Here it is.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
It's a bit like a Gymkhana grid, but I have to say, I lost it.
You're not happy with the donuts?
No, next lap is bad. Look at this.
Yeah, I think Anton bettered you in the Joker Stakes, mate. You'll have to come again next year and try harder. Fraser smashed it, look.
I think Fraser's Joker lap in semi-final was the best all weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Because he bogged in Q3. I don't know why he bogged, but the engine bogged.
Yeah.
And then probably someone said that was not good driving.
Yeah.
So then he decided to go absolutely on the limiter backwards. I like that. That was nice.
He's done well this year, hasn't he? To be fair, Fraser, I think, has come a long way. I mean, you know, I know you've had a brilliant year and you've smashed it, but the level's been higher in Nordic, and I think it's been a good learning curve for a lot of the drivers in a lot of the categories.
Yeah, and I think the season started off pretty rough in Denmark, but I've seen, you know, throughout the season that the level of, you know, fairness on track, and also as everyone is picking up the pace, everyone is also understanding that you won't win or lose, or probably lose a race in the first corner. So I think, you know, like it's been pretty fair this weekend. I mean, there have been some rough races, but of course, you know, nothing is always intended to do either, and it will be sometimes carnage in rallycross. That's just the nature of the sport. But I think it's been, you know, pretty good driving standards since Denmark, because that was not very impressive at times. So yeah, but there's been. I also have to say that Enzo did an impressive run.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He won Q2, but I think his Q3 run was even better.
Yeah.
And
you said 2:59. You said was a quick time. I know you
Very.
did 2:57, but you know, still it was really good. And it's Enzo's had a rough year. Obviously, he's working with you in the World Championship, and he's said a few times today, not on air, but we've been chatting. He's been saying that he's been picking up just these little bits from you, and it was a better Enzo today. He was good.
Yeah, he drove good. Just a little bit not perfect in Q4, but you know, that's how it is. And probably he listened to you why no one overtook down the hill there and tried, and it didn't work. So,
we did see some juniors do it and open two-wheel drive, I think, managed. But so we did say it's definitely on. It's definitely on. I liked it. He tried. Everyone loves a try.
But the speed you carry over there with the supercar is probably 145 or something.
A bit more than a junior cross
So
car.
the car goes very, very light. I tried on Ericsson in Q2, if you remember.
Yeah, I do.
But yeah, it's not very easy to overtake there.
No.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, there's been very good racing during the year.
Okay, fantastic. Hal, we need to wrap things up. Anything you'd like to finish with before we say bye?
Tommy had a pretty big party, 98, didn't he, when he won here the European Championship here? That's one of his career highlights. What's the plans for this evening?
Well, I do remember a little bit of that evening, because I was probably 9, turning 10 that year. So yeah, probably targeting the same thing done tonight. That remember a little bit.
Enjoy. Have a fantastic time. Stick around. We're gonna say bye to you. And thank you, Johan, and congratulations on a brilliant title.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That's it. We're done. RallyX Nordic 2021 comes to a close. We've had an absolutely brilliant time. Hal Reeves, thank you so much, mate. Been a pleasure. Wishing Hal the best with the World Championship, and also Johan Kristoffersen, of course. They're off to Hollius next weekend. You'll next see me on Nitro Rallycross, which I'm really looking forward to as well. But I just want to say thank you to the whole TV team for their incredible hard work in the background, all the organisers, the drivers for being absolutely brilliant, coming in here and just putting up with all our banter. For you guys, for every message that you've sent us to say cheers, and for the way you've engaged with the fun that we've had with this series, it has been absolutely brilliant. I've loved every minute of it. We'll be back next year, if we possibly can, for RallyX Nordic. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with a little surprise for our director, Robert, who doesn't know what's coming up next. He thinks he does. And then the season's highlights. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.
Chicken Brits. Boom. I feel my